evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to the Wrestle Talk Podcast. For the next 2 hours, we will bring you the latest pro wrestling news, in-depth analysis of all your favorite promotions from across the globe, and much, much more. We will also bring you exclusive interviews with the greatest professional wrestling personalities on the local, national, and international levels. If you want to follow the Wrestle Talk Podcast, check us out online at www.wrestletalkpodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And now, it's time for the reigning, defending, undisputed leader in pro wrestling podcast, the Wrestle Talk Podcast.
Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to another great episode of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. Episode number 471. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, we are all lined up for another great show, well on our way to episode 500. Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? But as always, I am not here by myself. So let me go ahead and get my co-host in here for the night. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He is the one and only, the Night Owl, Renee Martinez.
Shots fired! Shots fired! And you know we got to do this. Que pasa, que pasa, que pasa, loyal members of the WTP family. John, JP, Hoss, Champ. What a pleasure it is to be on the airwaves with you for episode, like you said, man, 471, bro. That's crazy. Every week we say it. Every week we take another step in that direction, man. But less than 30 shows away from 500 is insane. Like, there's no way ever that I thought that we would ever get to this many shows, John. I am still blown away and humbled by the support that we've had pretty much since the onset of this show. I mean, since the very beginning, there's a small group of people that have been with us. That group has grown steadily over the years. And now, bro, we get to do these shows, have the best guests, the best members of the fam, give away some of the best merch, some of the funniest comments, and if I do say so myself, some of the best hosts in the wrestling podcast game today, man. That's how I'm feeling tonight, bro. I'm fired up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Looking forward to another great show. But hey, to remind you fans out there, if you are joining us from another site, such as the FWWC or something, make sure you go in and accept StreamYard so we can see your name and know who you are when you comment. Otherwise, all we see is Facebook user, and we don't know who you are. And we really want to know who you guys are because we appreciate every one of our fans, no matter whether you're joining us live or whether you're joining us on the replay. We really just appreciate each and every one of you and could not be here doing it without you.
You know what cracks me up? Like, and we always love the engagement, but, you know, we're always going to call it what it is here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast. How you going to roast if you can't even hit the blue text at the top and show us who you are? How you going to call somebody out talking about who's that and you can't even follow simple directions? I'm sorry. If you're going to dish it, you got to learn how to take it. Now, as far as taking what is earned and deserved, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Herb Simmons once again tuned in here to episode 471 of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. But John, I mean, if you're going to roast, you got to make sure that your shit is tight because we're going to call you out on it here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast. Speaking of which, I'm still loving the background, bro. You are looking crispy. You sound great. It must be awesome to be the champ, man. Talk to us about that briefly. I know we'll get into it a little bit more in the second hour as far as the FWWC stuff, man. But how does it feel to be now the most respected hardcore champion in one of the, if not the top EFED on the planet, and let's keep it brief because we got a lot to cover today. But I want to give you that spotlight because it's
up there, Night Owl. But
well,
yeah, as you were saying, the longest reigning hardcore champion in the FWWC, you know, it's absolutely awesome. I never thought when I won this last time that I would surpass El Mata for the longest reigning, but to actually do that and to know that I currently hold that record and hopefully will hold it for a long time to come. It is absolutely awesome, I tell you, and just look forwards to what's to come and Universe Mania and defending there, and it's really something special.
Well, no doubt about it. For those that are wondering what these two blabbermouths are talking about, we're talking about the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide chapter. More information available to you guys. Inbox me, inbox our hardcore champion, inbox our guy, the CEO, Dewan Millsman. We can get you off on the road. And if you had a bad experience with eFeds before, don't worry. So have we. Not your daddy's eFed. We call ourselves very much, we actually don't like that term. Just like Herb Simmons doesn't like the term independent wrestling. He's like, it's just wrestling. And he's right. It's not eFed. Yo, we're just a fantasy promotion, but we are very much a promotion. People got to pay their dues and do the work. So all that said, like I said, more on that in the second hour. But John, you already know, baby, tonight's show is going to be absolutely incredible. You heard him mentioned earlier. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about tonight's featured guest of the evening, man? It's going to be a great, great one, and it really hits close to home. Go ahead, bud.
Oh, yeah. Jason Curtis, he's a great guy, actually personal friend. And, he started out, I met him doing the FWWC, and, he progressed to actually being security at one of the local independents, and then moved on to actually doing managing, and has really made a name for himself, been in the ring a few times in actual matches, and just really proud of this guy. He's nice guy all around, even though he can kind of get mean a few here and there, but he's just an all-around great guy, and just looking forward to talking a little more with him about the whole progression, from beginning to end, and what he's got coming up. So
yeah, no doubt about it. And you guys know at this point, like I'm a big mafia movie fan. So if you've ever seen Goodfellas, this is like Tommy being made. Like Jason Curtis is one of our guys. And because I'm not going to say it was because of the group, but I think the group facilitated him to gain confidence.
I think you done froze again, Night Owl.
Again, dude, but, I'm Ethernet connected,
yeah,
bro.
So we're looking forward. Oh, there we go.
Okay, there we go. So no, I want to make sure this gets out, if nothing else tonight. It's like when one of your own guys gets made in the mob. Like Tommy from Goodfellas. I know that didn't end well, but my point is, it's like when one of your own people starts with you kind of just, like the fantasy football thing, fantasy wrestling thing, and then you see them actually take that leap of faith and go into the business, JP. I think that is probably one of the coolest things. And this may be one of the first people that we've ever interviewed that didn't have anything as far as like, oh, I worked in the business a little bit before I joined this. I think Kurt Gannon, who was here before, had done it a little bit before. El Diablo, who was in the FWWC, he had done some wrestling before. So we've had people that have like kind of dabbled in the FWWC post or maybe while they were taking a hiatus from wrestling and then went back. I think Curtis, and then we'll move on. I think Jason Curtis is probably the first guy that had no prior wrestling experience and then went to like doing the security and then the training and then the manager and all this. So guys, second hour interview is going to be fantastic. Make sure you tune in for that. But that doesn't mean that there's nothing worth hanging out for in the first hour, John, because as everybody knows, we've got to hit Roseanne. We got to hit DJ Money. We got High Spots, a bunch of great stuff. We got Shoot and Shout. After the break, we've got Big Daddy P, our resident chaplain. We got Dewan coming in to talk a little bit more FWWC. Right after that, baby, we'll get into that interview with Jason Curtis. Bro, like I said, tonight's lineup is crazy. And if no one joins us, I know we got at least 10 awesome High Spots questions, so we can just go back and forth all night. And we may have a special third host this evening. So you guys hang in there, continue to hit that like button, continue to hit that share button, because we're going to freaking rock and roll tonight, man. It's going to be a great one.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. But as you said, we got to get started the same way we always do, I tell you. Because there's nothing better than paying homage to the greatest country around, and that being America. So let's go ahead and hit that national anthem. Absolutely brings a tear to your eye every time, or blood to your ears. One of the two.
Or both every single time. Oh, man. Oh, Roseanne.
Only thing is, I'm not sure if that tear is because you're just so emotional over, the whole thing, or whether it's just because it's that bad.
I'm gonna present a third option. I think it's because you're just happy it's over. You're so happy it's over that you shed a tear like, oh, God, finally, I've been freed. I'm telling you, bro, I think we need to measure that in some sort of different kind of time, because in seconds, it's only a few seconds, but like when you're listening to it, it literally feels like time stands still. It's a terrible experience for anybody who's ever been here, and we're glad to present it to you for no apparent reason every single week, guys. That's just what we do here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. We never said we were here to make sense, guys. We're just here to have fun, okay? All right, let's do this, Hoss. I'm going to go ahead and jump into single, man, because I think we got one more group that we got to thank before we get into tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk podcast High Spots segment. Why don't you go ahead and put those up on the screen for your boy, and I will take care of giving the credit where it's due to all of our wonderful sponsors. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Royal Mills Transportation, based out of Kansas City for all your local transportation needs. Holla at our boy, DeJuan Mills. Nobleman's Barber Lounge, KC Mo. You know where to go. Hit those guys up. Tell them the Wrestle Talk podcast sent you. Kincaid Arcade out the Oak Park Mall. Games, fun, friends for very, very cheap. Go ahead and hit them up. Let them know who sent you. I-70 Sports Media. We're actually teaming up with those guys this Thursday. We're going to do a little bit of MLW press, so make sure you guys keep it locked in, because we'll have some breaking news out of there. Little Popeye Designs, home of the brand new Wrestle Talk podcast. Come look at that beauty. Now, an extra $5 if you want that added, okay? But just the cup with the logo, $20. If you're here local, I'll drop it off personally. If not, you pay for whatever, whether you want the logo or not, $20, $25, plus the shipping, and it's all yours. Last but not least, folks, you've already heard us talk about it ad nauseum, the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion. And what's crazy is that, like, we take this way more seriously than we should, because somebody decided to log in today that probably shouldn't have logged in today, because there was a supposed match that was supposed to happen at the Royal Rumble. And I hate to say it, because I've called this man many, 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 many things. I've called him my compadre. I called him my brother. I called him a bum. I called him a crumb bum. But I never thought that I would call him a chicken. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to bring this man on, because he's got to answer for his sins here tonight. What the hell happened to the Sunny Money Mayo, Chris Rodell, Quick Trip Pizza on a pole match that was supposed to happen at the Royal Rumble? Once again, I opened up the doors of the FWWC to this man and Chris Rodell. This is for both of y'all, actually. And you spat in my face. Was the Royal Rumble not good enough for you guys? Do I have to give you the stage at WrestleMania, at Universe Mania? At this point, I feel like I shouldn't even do that. Such a letdown. You know what? Let's bring this man on so he can account for his sins, because I got to know why this match didn't take place. It's absolutely unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. KC Superkick himself.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I should be called, Mr. KC Super King. What's this chicken shit there, Night Owl? Come on, bro. Chicken?
What happened?
Listen.
What happened to y'all?
I ride the biggest roller coasters in the world. I jumped out of an 8,000 foot in the air airplane for my 30th birthday. I do tattoos. I go to the sketchy part of town. Now, you can attest, I'm usually the only white boy in the quinceañera. Chicken.
Pretty much. You got the
That's not I, sir. Okay, that is not I. Okay, what happened is your homeboy Road Dog over there. He pulled a Stan Kroenke and left St. Louis in the middle of the night. Okay, I was waiting. I was at the arena. I had the quick trip up in the air, the pizza, the ladder set up, the whole Titantron, his theme music. And what happened, bro? He no-showed me, all right? He pulled a rock going to Perth, Australia. He said he was going to be there in a promo, and then he said he wasn't going to be there in the same promo, and he didn't know if he was going to be there or not. And guess what? He did not show up. Because, hey, Night Owl, where was I at Royal Rumble? Who was I sitting right next to at Royal Rumble? You, sir. And I was ready.
Fair. That's fair.
I was ready. Nah, Road Dog. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, fam. You talking about keep talking, Road Dog. You know the deal, bro. You know the deal. So, with all that being said, folks, don't let our fat new discourage you from going to FWWC, okay? Because I promise you, even though me and Road Dog were only guests at the time, I used to be a part of the FWWC, and Night Owl, I don't believe there's too many chickens in there, right? Because I'm definitely not one.
People need answers, bro. People thought you chickened out.
I did not chicken out.
That's what the people was saying, bro. That's why I got to ask the question. They paid me to tell the truth. I told you this last week. They paid me to tell the truth.
Hold on. Before we go any further, what's up to my brother Hoss? How are you doing, guy? Man, I love the background. I know the lighting's not the best for me, but I'm getting this together back here. I'm in the middle of working on it. Hoss, you over there shining, baby.
Yeah, he looks
shining,
good,
dog.
He does look
shining. How you doing, Hoss?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. It's nice to see you. But I might have an answer for you, Night Owl.
Okay.
I don't think Sonny is chicken. I really don't.
Thank you.
He will lay it on the line. He just don't pay up when it's time.
Oh.
Now, I think John has a reason to say this because way back around Christmas time, Sonny, there was a Chiefs-Raider game that took place.
Sure.
And there was also a bet placed then. John, am I wrong? Wasn't there some sort of wager that never... Listen, he's like, I should have never logged on to this motherfucker. Bro, you said it last week, bro.
I mean,
we keep receipts around this motherfucker.
I was supposed to do a tomahawk chop if the Chiefs won, and if the Raiders won, we decided to do a little Raiders.
Okay. So I think, listen, you deserve that, okay? So this is for everybody exclusive. Not even supposed to be a part of the show tonight, but this is for everybody out here. This is special Wrestle Talk podcast exclusive, okay? Look, because you see all the cheap stuff on my wall. I got the champion up there. All right, so this will be the one and only time that is said in the Mayo household, okay, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to stand up for this one. All right, here we go. Let's go! Raiders!
Very, very
there you go, boss. All right, I'm a man that pays up in debt. That's the first.
That's gonna
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm puking a little bit here.
Yo, that's
man.
gonna get clipped out, and it's gonna be shared all over the internet, bro. It's gonna be everywhere on social.
Roddy Piper's disappointed in me right now. Okay, that's what it is, bro. That's
what bro. It is, bro. All right. So then before we move on, because we got some awesome high spots and stuff that we can get into. But Sonny, can we get your commitment? If myself and the rest of the BOD set it up, can we finally get a Rodell Sonny Money quick trip pizza on a pole match at I can't even believe I'm saying this. At Universe Mania 10.
Listen,
bro, it's just a couple of promos and some picks. It ain't that hard.
Well, okay, but here's the thing, Night Owl. And listen, I need your help. And Hoss, I want you involved in this. Flywalker, I know you're out there listening. Jeremy Clark. People in the comment section, join in here, okay? So here's the deal. If I lose, I will eat a whole nasty-ass quick trip pizza. I eat a whole one. I'll eat the whole thing, or as much as I can. I will stuff myself, okay? But when I win, and this is where you guys come in, I need a good stipulation for Road Dogg here, Night Owl. I need one, Hoss.
He
Comment
said something
section.
about how much he hates coffee, so he said he'll think
I don't, man. That just, but
he doesn't like coffee, bro.
I don't know,
You think
man.
it's a cop
I
out?
was supposed to drink a whole thing of black coffee. You know?
I don't know, but I mean,
all right,
yeah.
hold on. Let me ask you a question. Who's the Blues' biggest rival? Who do the Blues fans hate?
I'll get back to you on that. Is it the
I don't know.
Blackhawks? I think it's the
I think it's probably
Blackhawks.
anything Chicago,
I
right?
think it's Chicago,
Then we
bro.
got to make him rock a Blackhawks shirt.
Yeah, I think that's a good one for a whole podcast.
He's got to go a whole podcast with the Blackhawks shirt,
Listen,
bro.
if you know me, now I'm on top of with the sports stuff, bro. I will get him a Blackhawks T-shirt or a hat. I think the hat is probably even a little bit better.
Imagine if he had to wear a Blackhawks hat the whole podcast, bro. That would be crazy.
Yeah, he hates everyone. Yeah, but I know you hate the Blackhawks there, Rodell. So listen, bro. Yeah, Night Owl's correct 100%. Okay, you were the chicken 100%. I was there. I was waiting. So no more bullshit games. Okay, let's make this happen. WrestleMania, FWWC, Universe Mania. Let's make this happen, Road Dogg. Come on.
Everybody frozen but me.
I think you're the only one that's frozen, dog. I can see Sonny perfectly. Sonny, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly fine.
There we go.
All right, there we go. Johnny's back. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into business, guys, because we're 27 minutes in, and this has been a fun show. Great interaction. We got 13 live just on the Facebook. We got a handful more over on X, and then the social media platform, not the drug. Just, we have the meats for sandwiches. I'll just make sure to throw out. Anyway, and we got the YouTube people too, so we love y'all. Appreciate everybody being here. But let's go ahead and cue up the DJ Money. Let's throw the overlay up over while DJ Money is on, and let's go ahead and hit it, Mayo, because we got some incredible topics here tonight, man. I'm glad you're going to be joining us for High Spots tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Let's hit it, man. Let's hit that DJ Money so I can get hyped up over here, all right?
471, let's go, baby. High Spots time. Hit it.
Mic check. Yeah. All right. Wrestle Talk Podcast. DJ Money. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to High Spots, where we pop news like player chops. We talk shop, coming through the screens of a laptop, and non-stop like a running speakers of blacktop. We hit hard like chair shots and backdrops, like a clock flash, look like a barely fly. Now that's hard. We up to speed while they stay slow. Wrestle Talk Podcast, now they know we about to start the show.
It's so nice. It's so nice. We gotta see it twice, bro.
Love it.
Yo,
hey, that's a new effect. That's a new effect. Y'all like that? You like the blinking effect? That's pretty good.
Yeah, yo, everybody in the comment section, man, come on, help support local, help support your favorite Tuesday night best damn live pro wrestling podcast in the game today. Get a Tumblr, all right?
Love y'all. Yeah, get a Tumblr. And by the way, we do have over 10 live, but only 6 likes and thumbs up. So if all of y'all could hit the like or the heart and then hit that share button, share it to any wrestling groups or share it to your own page, whatever you're willing to do, we all appreciate that just to spread the word. Because, hey, at the end of the day, we're just here to do one thing. # Let's Talk Wrestling. On that note, are you guys ready for the randomizer?
Let's hit it.
And let's hit the first topic. All right, I'll go ahead and hit the randomizer. And let's go ahead and get that poster ready, baby, because I know it's about to be a good one. Here we go, boys. 3, 2, 1. Look who decided to show up. All right, and the question reads, give us a moment. This thing popped up for you guys. All right, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, are you buying Kevin Nash's reasoning for not wanting to attend Sting's final match? And as our resident expert on the click, I think it is appropriate that our special brother that decided to join us this evening, Sonny Money Mayo, take this one first, brother. It's all you.
Well, Night Owl, what was his reasoning, brother?
Okay, that's a fair question. Not everybody's in the loop as far as like what's going on.
I know, but I know, but I want everybody in comment section. Well, I want to, legit here. All right. So if you haven't read up on the Dave Meltzer spoilers or your daily Brian Meltzer update, what was Big Sexy's reason there for not going to Sting's final match there?
Absolutely, and what I truly appreciate is that that when you put your boy on the spot, I'm ready.
Yep.
So here goes the quote. It says, on a recent edition of his Click This podcast, Nash explained why he can't attend AEW Revolution 2024, which I think is going to be taking place in Wembley Stadium. Is that right?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
Okay. Noting that he is not on WWE's payroll. So here is what Nash actually said. He says, "No, I never said that. What I said was I'm a WWE guy. I can't have a picture of me of the crowd, around the crowd, and it say All Elite Wrestling underneath. I just can't have that. It just doesn't work. One of my closest fucking friends is Paul Levesque. As much as I love Steve, that's Sting's real name for those who don't know, and I know he'll only have one last match, I will certainly watch it. We will talk about it. I just won't. I haven't been to WrestleMania, a Raw, a SmackDown, or any other pay-per-views. I haven't been on any events. I don't want to go to any place and be around a bunch of people." This is what he thinks about y'all fans. "Let alone wrestling people. I just don't want to do it. I'm a bit of a hermit these days. That's just it." End quote.
Okay.
Sonny Money?
I'm 50-50 down the middle, Night Owl. Okay. Now, the reason I say this is just last year, Planet Comic-Con, the 24th anniversary of Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City, Kevin Nash was supposed to be here. He was one of the main reasons I was going to drop that $60 to go to Comic-Con. Comic-Con does a great job. The other people there I wanted to see, but Nash being the main reason for me to go. He canceled. And I'm a fan of his Click This podcast. I'm a listener of it. He really gave no explanation. And listen, Nash is right. He is a kind of a hermit. I think even back in the day, even when he was an active wrestler, everybody in the clique would kind of call him Big Grumpy. Instead of Big Sexy, it was Big Grumpy because he is kind of a grumpy asshole. Doesn't mean that I'm not a fan or it takes away the fandom or anything, but he's doing less appearances these days. Nash is up there now, 67, 68. I mean, he's climbing up there. He's still 6'10", you know what I mean? So I'm sure it's not as easy for him to get around now, even as it was back in the day. Now, for the reasoning of the All Elite Wrestling underneath on the screenshot and Paul Levesque and all that I don't buy. That is, to me, complete bullshit, okay? Because if that was the case, then why did he put all them years in TNA wrestling? He was on TNA for multiple years, multiple stints. So you can't say, oh, well, that was fine back then, but now it's not. I think that if Tony Khan maybe gave him an official invite, or if Steve Borden, Sting, actually reached out and said, yo, Big Sexy, super important for you to be in London, be there for my last match, I think he would do it. But the reason he's a WWE guy for life, and he's under a Legends deal. He's not even an active member of the roster or the production team or the office or anything. Man, that's bullshit. I'm not buying that, bro. So, no. 50-50 down the middle. Part of it I buy, part of it I don't. I wouldn't even say actually 50-50. Let's end it at this 60-40 bullshit, okay? 60-40 bullshit. So that's that. Yo, Night Owl, I can't hear you.
All right. Yeah, I can respect that. And I like the fact that you pretty much called it down the middle, unbiased, and I know it's one of your favorite guys. So, Hoss, before I go, you're the champ here, baby. You're the one that carries the gold. What are your thoughts on this?
Honestly, I can understand if it truly is, trying to be respectful, loyalty to the brand. If that's what it truly is, then I understand that. But the fact that he threw the fans in there, that tells me it's not really loyalty to the brand. And I bet you they offered him enough money, he'd be sitting right there ringside. So,
I believe it.
I don't think it's the loyalty. I think it's a bunch of BS.
Yep.
And he just doesn't want to do it, is what it comes down to. And everybody has a right, if you don't want to do it, just say no. But don't sit there and make up excuse after excuse as to why you can't. Just say you don't want to do it. It's that simple.
Snitch just said that if he fought Nash, he'd just go for the quads. Cheap pop, dog.
That's the like old dog. That's got to be like in the past 15, 20 years. That's like the oldest joke in wrestling, but it still pops me every time.
You think it's older than you can't see me? You think it's older than that?
Yeah,
that's been going
Nash was blowing his quads in like 98, 99, and you know what I mean. Like he clicks, and him, Triple H, McMahon, they all blowing quads out here, bro. So.
Hey, I hate to go back here, but what happened to your boy Greenlaw in the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Oh my God.
That was so bad. But
bang, bang, Niner gang.
Hey, bang. Okay. I sense a great deal of trepidation in Kevin Nash's statement. He starts off by saying, y'all know I can't because that's my boy. Let me translate for y'all. But it doesn't matter because I don't want to anyway. So I'm like, okay, first of all, as far as I know, there's no like direct and firm correlation. Now, I don't know if Sting was ever part of the clique or not. I know they all go back a long way, but how close are they actually? I mean, if they were like BFF type scenario, I don't care what contract, bro. Ain't nobody. Of course, Sonny, go ahead. I know I just want
to drop it in there. So Nash has stated Sting too. They go back to about 1989. Even before Nash got into business, Nash was a bodyguard down there in the Atlanta area, and he was friends with Sting and the Steiner brothers, and they were actually the ones who kind of helped him get with Jody Hamilton to break into the business. Just wanted to drop that tidbit for you there.
Okay, so they know each other for a long time, but we can't confirm that they're like best friends, right?
No. But through shoot interviews, Nash has said that, he's traveled with Sting. He's shared hotels with Sting. Sting's his boy. It's all love with Sting. So, friends. I would definitely say that they are friends. You know what I mean?
Yep. So I think that plays a big part into it because let's be honest, Sonny. Say you and I work for the same company, and there was a celebration where I was retiring or something. Somebody isn't going to tell me who I can invite. Right. If I've been with this organization for 30 years, and I'm sure it's not on Tony's side. Tony seems like the guy to me that's like, hey, it's cool, whatever, bring a friend, I don't care. I think it's more of an aesthetic thing, and I think Kevin knows where his bread is buttered, and he knows that if he's going to make any more money, it's going to be off that Legends contract, not making random appearances at AEW. So I think he's doing the right thing. I just don't think he's being completely genuine when he says, oh, I'm just a hermit, I really don't want to go. I think if Sting was really his boy like that, he would have found a way to go, but I don't think he wants to risk the check either. Because, there's one thing that the McMahons are above everything else. They're prideful people, bro. They don't like taking L's. They don't like taking public L's. They tend to be vengeful. I mean, we've seen a lot of stuff that's come out over the years about the McMahon family and how they treated some of their associates and people that have worked for them. So I understand Nash not wanting to cross the boss. Ultimately he's friends with Trips and them, but the relationship they really don't want to mess up is the relationship with Vince. You know what I'm saying? So,
but here's the thing that I don't get.
Smart move by him.
But here's the thing I don't get, and this has kind of been running through my mind. Okay, so he wants to kind of use Trips and his loyalty to WWE to not appear on
half
AEW.
A cop out. Half a cop out.
But in that same breath, did they not show Undertaker sitting with Bret Hart at Ric Flair's final match down there in North Carolina, South Carolina, or whatever? The WWE's main marker guy since 1990, the one main star who really did not jump ship or anything like that, being the Undertaker, Vince McMahon's boy. Wasn't he sitting front row for Ric Flair's match and they had him all over the TV? Like, Explain that to me, Night. Explain that to me, Hoss. I don't.
It's a relationship thing, I think, is what it is. I don't think there's any real relationship between the AEW folks and they're the new kid on the block. And I think Vince probably with those guys in that group where Rick did his retirement match, I'm sure there's guys because like I'll give you an example. The WWE guys don't go anywhere except WWE, right? But who did we see at WLW? We saw Adam Cole, we saw Ryback, so we saw guys that you're like, they're kind of untouchable when they're in WWE. They sign those exclusive deals, so they only do certain shows, certain interviews or whatever. There are those exceptions, and if there's a long-term relationship there, then maybe it happens. But with Tony and them, I don't think they have that working relationship, bro. They are very much the new kid on the block and direct competition to them on certain nights.
Yeah, but like the first year of AEW, didn't they let Billy Gunn, who was a producer and a wrestler at AEW, go to WWE to get inducted to the Hall of Fame with D-Generation X?
Right. What I'm saying is there's no ill will from Tony to them. I think they're not trying to do him any favors.
I got you.
Yep, I don't think they're trying to do him any favors.
So you don't believe it that Night Owl? They just
I'm not buying it, bro. I only buy the first half of what he said. He's not trying to burn the wrong bridge, and I don't blame him because those bridges been there forever, bro. And he may never step foot in AEW. So what loyalty does he have to them? Sting knows he loves them. Hey, bro, I don't got to be there to wish you well and to support you. It's just one of those things. I understand it. I just don't get I don't want to go anyway. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to go? That's your boy.
Yeah. You know what? Even though he might be big grumpy, he's still Click, and I'm Click unofficial, and I love him. So he could come up with all the bullshit excuses he wants, just like Rodell did for the Royal Rumble. Nash is doing the same thing.
I don't want to gloss over Susie's point, though. And we're not ignoring any of your guys' comments, guys. We really want you guys to jump in. All you got to do is message any one of us. We shoot you the link. You can actually jump on and conversate with us. That's our favorite way, the old school way. We talk. But I just want to say that Susie's comment is very valid. He lost Razor. He lost his son. So he's a hermit maybe because he's trying to heal himself back from all that stuff. So I guess putting that caveat in it, I could see why he would say I'm a hermit. Like, that shit is too complicated for me. Plus, right now, I'm kind of like just inside right now because of everything I got going on. And that I can respect.
Well, and again, he's 67, 68 years old. And Nash has even came out and said that he didn't think he was going to make it that long. He's had multiple knee surgeries and back surgeries and blown quads. And you know what I mean? And then you're stuffing him inside these little airplanes. And even if he's first class, he still ain't that comfortable. You know what I mean? And, my man's put his time in. He's put his time in the business. So, hey, he wants to be big grumpy. He can be big grumpy. He wants to be big bullshit and be big bullshit, I guess, but. It's a shame, man. I'd rather him just come out and shoot straight from the hip on the shit instead of coming up with some BS stories. You know what I mean? So
it's crazy that you can be that much of a legend and you still have to play into the politics.
Yep.
And the other thing is that a guy with his pedigree, with everything that he's done, he should be able to pick and choose when he shows up. Nobody should have to twist his arm, and fans shouldn't be guilting him and questioning him. Hey, how come you're? We're talking about because that's the conversation that's being had online. People are questioning his motives. I'm here to say, why do you give a shit? Let the man go where he wants to go. And if he thinks it's a bad business move for him, good.
Yep, absolutely.
Step away from it. All right. You guys ready for the next topic? Oh, my gosh, bro.
This is going to be my last one, Night Owl. I only came in for a 2-spot appearance on High Spots because Mrs. Money Mayo, she's ready to put the Rowdy Piper sleeper hold on me tonight if I'm in here long. So one more High Spots with you, bro, and then I'm going to piece it out, and I'm going to watch you guys from afar. Keep it in the comment section. Keep it moving, all right?
I love it.
All right.
All right, Haas, let's get down, baby. Let's move on to the next topic of the evening. Ooh, I must say, this is going to be an interesting one. And I'm actually excited because I believe that I'm the person that brought this one to the table. And there is the question, friends. High Spots. Is the world missing the magic going on over at MLW? So I guess I'll ask this question before we get into it. Is anyone here actively paying attention to MLW? And if you are or aren't, why?
I guess I'll start on this one. I'm 50-50. I'm pretty aware of the names on the roster. The clips that I have seen have definitely interested me. It's not something that I've turned on and said, not my cup of tea. You know what I mean? But Night Owl, I think we could go back to probably like episode like 280. I was on here preaching MLW years ago, bro. Listen, I don't want to get too far off track here. I was a big MLW fan when they started in 2002. 2002, all right? Because they started and they went away for a little while and then they came back. And really, honestly, since then, and as much as I'm an old school wrestling fan, and I enjoy the new school and I pay attention to the new school, but the old school's definitely in my heart. I like the fact, and just like in the picture there, with one of my all-time favorite wrestlers on my personal list, Raven, to keep him in an active storyline, even though he's not really in the ring, taking bumps and doing what he did back in the 90s or whatever, but to still keep him in an active storyline that makes sense. You know what I mean? That's a big thing. They're doing good storylines that make sense with quality wrestling over there. Bro, I think I even made it a point, and I'm going to try to find this out when I jump off air and go back. I think I even made it a point a few episodes back saying, hell, MLW might even be number 2 over AEW at this point, Night Owl. Honestly, bro.
The entertainment value is, I can't
great,
stand up the things.
It
I just
really
cannot.
is, dog. And between everybody who's there now and who's been there, and not to take anyone away, but some of the people that I pay close attention to, and Hammerstone and Alex Kane, and I remember when MJF was there, even before his AEW shit, doing shit with Richard Holiday, bro. It's big shout out to MLW. You know what I mean? Big shout out to them. Gentlemen, ladies, everyone in between in the comment section, do yourself the favor. Go back, check out a little bit of MLW. All right, seriously. If you're not entertained, you're welcome to inbox me and be like, "Yo, Money Mail, what the fuck are you watching?" Because I wasn't entertained, and I'll tell you, you're dead wrong. But I guarantee you'll be a little bit entertained. So I need to keep up on more MLW because, like I said, every time I turn it on, bro, I'm definitely entertained, bro. And they're doing it big down there. They're doing it real big.
Cool. And before you go, here in just a few moments when we all have an opportunity to have this discussion, I do want to drop a gem in your ear. I got actually, and not necessarily a link, but something you can go put into your YouTube. Great place to start. Great place to start. So I'll be hitting you and everybody else with that in just a moment. But
please do.
But Champ, hardcore Champ, what do you got for us, man? Have you been dabbling in any MLW recently? And if you have, what do you like? If you haven't, why?
I have seen clips here and there, but I have not actually been actively watching it, and mainly because there's just so much wrestling, and I honestly don't know where to find actual MLW for their actual shows. So, that's why I haven't really checked them out other than seeing a clip here, a clip there. But, from the clips I've seen, it looks like they're doing an awesome job over there. It looks like it's something worth checking out. It's just a matter of finding out where.
Well, and again, I'm going to point you guys in a good direction here in just a moment. And kudos to you, John, because I think my biggest issue when someone asks me a question like this is just the time. Is there enough time to actually take it in enough to be able to speak on it? And it took me a while to find the time, but I was like, you know what, man? There are just way too many guys that have graced these halls, okay, that I'm obligated to pay attention. Let's go back to that poster here just momentarily. So, of course, everybody's attention goes to Raven, and rightfully so, okay? It makes all the sense in the world. He's the guy with the cachet. He's the one that's got the legacy. But the guy in front of him, some of you guys may or may not recognize as a former guest of the Wrestle Talk podcast, and his name is Akira. And some of you may or may not know, in the deathmatch circuit, this dude for the last 5 years or so before joining MLW was one of the most legit up-and-coming guys. And as he was ascending, he graced us with his presence, and we knew from that episode that this dude was bound for success. And now to have a guy like Raven take him under the wing, guys, that's what I'm talking about. When I look at a promotion that's bringing back legends just for the sake of putting butts in the seats, I understand it. It's business. But when I see a promotion do it for that reason and to mentor and groom and help expose the next layer of talent, I'm all for it. Okay. So just to give you guys a brief idea. Okay. So just recently, our guy that we were talking about just a little bit earlier, Alex Kane, was actually threatening to quit MLW, and a huge announcement concerning that. Another former guest, he's obviously MLW former world champion, okay, and he actually just lost it to a NJPW legend. His name is escaping me at the moment. Hopefully, I'll remember. But you're talking about a guy like Alex Kane potentially going into the free agent pool. Every promotion in the world is going to be soliciting his services. So if you watched that episode and enjoyed it, definitely make sure you stay tuned, because I'm going to tell you guys where you guys can get kind of the outcome of his decision, whether or not he decided to stay with MLW or not. Obviously, the Raven returns. I had that in my notes. Okay. The other big one, yes, Kojima. Thank you very much, bro. I didn't want to butcher his name. The last one is these guys are not only counting on their own homegrown talent, but they're also going out and getting big, badass free agents like AJ Francis. Okay, you guys probably know him from WWE and NXT. You may not even be a fan of his. Personally, I don't like his raps. But what I am seeing is that MLW has this habit of taking guys that are throwaways and helping them cultivate a following. Kind of like what happened with Sami Callihan. He was semi-successful in NXT, left, started doing his own thing up in Ohio, started doing some business in MLW, and now his name continues to send waves throughout professional wrestling, both for his own promotion and what he does with medium to large size promotions. So I guess the reason I brought this to everybody's attention is the guys that you're going to see in the next 3 to 5 years break through to the big show are already down in MLW. And damn, in the meantime, when you've got Dario Cueto, formerly of Lucha Underground, and you've got Selena De La Renta, probably two of the best yet unknown managers in wrestling today, rivaling and beefing with each other, I'm telling you guys, it's worth the watch. And if you like the in-ring stuff, and you're like, yeah, promos are cool and shit, I just like the wrestling, bro. I don't know if there's somebody out there doing it better than a guy named Jacob Fatu. And you know, guys, this is where you can see the Von Erich legacy continue. Okay, this is where Davey Boy Smith Jr. is wrestling now. And if you like that crazy shit, Jay Christ just made his debut recently in MLW. I mean, guys, I know WWE is it. I know it's WrestleMania season, but if you're going to immerse yourself in wrestling for the next couple of months, take a moment and spread your horizons. And I highly recommend that you guys all start with MLW Burning Crush. Just dropped about 10 days ago. It's fresh out the kitchen, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And the reason I'm harping on this so heavily is, again, guys, this upcoming Thursday, the Wrestle Talk podcast will be present at the MLW press conference leading to their big coming pay-per-view. So I'm thrilled to have this partnership and opportunity. Myself, Jeremy Karp from I-70 are going to be there. And I promise you, any news that we get and that comes out of that thing, we're going to bring it to you guys here first on the Wrestle Talk podcast. So had to get that all out, guys. It's exciting. Again, Burning Crush MLW. And to answer your question, John, totally free on the YouTube. You're welcome. yeah, let's go. Make sure you guys save that to your list.
Absolutely.
There we go. Jay Chris is one I fought it with, and yeah, probably.
Yes, probably. He is. Jake Chris. We went to West Virginia, and when we went to West Virginia, we actually saw Akira win the deathmatch tournament that year. And Jake Chris was there, and he came out, and they had said security was coming out with him because there had been some issues, which the issues were the fact that him and Susan kept getting in each other's faces. And they went around the ring, and he stopped and had a kendo stick, and they were in each other's face, and he drew the kendo stick back, and then he turned and smacked the security guard with it. And Afterwards, Susan told him,
good.
told the security guard, says, thank you for taking the hit for me. And he looked, he said, man, before we even came out the back, Jake looked at me and said, that's the mark.
And they feed off of her. Hey, Sonny, I wanted to drop this here too, real quick. Yeah, shout out to our girl, Hardcore Sis, doing big things going into Universe Mania. And thank you, John, for sharing that story, bro. I always love that. Oh, by the way, Jake, also a former guest of the Wrestle Talk podcast. What I'm saying is, if you rock with us, then you got to rock with MLW, because all the guys that we've interviewed are there now. Either before they got there or now. It's crazy. But just a quick comment here before you go, Sonny. It says, anyone close to the Philly area, many promotions with tremendous talent will be having shows all over. Lots of guys knocking on that door to get to the next level. We'll be somewhere that week, April and March, on the East Coast alone. Have some huge matches all up and down the 95 corridor.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about WrestleMania weekend, because whatever city it's in, bro, you're going to end up finding all sorts of promotions. You know how it is, Night Owl. Wherever the town is, Tampa, LA, Chicago, New York, this year being Philly. I'm excited for a lot of things in Philly. I even talked about through the idea of going back home to Philly, staying with my cousin Tina Mayo, staying up in Northeast, hopping the train down to South Philly, being a part of the festivities down there, even if not getting a ticket to WrestleMania. Big shout out to Timothy Embler over there. He's running a show at the old ECW arena, now called the 2300 Arena. He's doing a big ECW reunion show, big, massive ECW reunion show, and all sorts of different shows, smaller promotions, bigger promotions like that, man. Yeah, so if you're in the Philly area, DC area, Baltimore, New York, Jersey, anywhere like that, do your favor. Go support independent wrestling. Not saying don't go to WrestleMania. You want to go to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is dope. I'd love to go to WrestleMania. These two gentlemen with me tonight would love to be at WrestleMania. But these two gentlemen can also attest just as much as I can. Bro, I have more fun than an independent professional wrestling show. That's hands down.
I agree.
Not saying that WWE puts on a good show each and every time I go. Top-notch production, top-notch wrestling, whatever. I like the independent professional wrestling. That's what I like. That's what I dig. You know what I mean? So
this cup of tea.
Yep, exactly. And not just in the Philly area, wherever you're at, search it. All right. It's somewhere in your area. There's independent professional wrestling somewhere in your area. All right. Go check it out. Go support your local stars. Because who knows, one day we're going to be sitting on Let's Talk podcast talking about them maybe being in the main event of WrestleMania. So you never know.
Speaking of new promotions, the very last thing before you go, Sonny, I wanted to give a special shout out to Skill. Let me see if I get this right. Southwest Kansas Independent Lucha Libre.
Yep.
Southwest Kansas Independent Lucha Libre. Shout out to all my guys, all my paisas out there that helped put that show together. The folks in the audience were absolutely on fire by all accounts. Angel de Paz, Bruisador. I know we've had our history, but super duper proud about what you guys are accomplishing down there in Southwest Kansas. So just know y'all got nothing but love from the Wrestle Talk podcast. For those guys to go from in-ring talent to become top in-ring talent in every promotion that they work for, always going for titles, to actually expand out and want to start their own promotion. That, to me, bro, that if anything deserves a round of applause, it's entrepreneurship, man. It's incredible.
Sure, absolutely. And then listen, the guest that we had last week, next Friday, March 8th, new promotion, Fountain City Pro. I'm going to be there. Night Owl. Where you at?
Well, may have to be in the building. I had such a great time with Chase. I had such a great time with Chase. I'm going to have to be there. But I also got to give a shout out to my man Jason Static out in the St. Louis area, who 3 weeks ago came on, and he's opening up a tremendous pro wrestling training facility in the Midwest for that ass, for more young talent to get trained properly to go and pursue their dreams. Just like our second hour guest that's coming up here shortly, baby, Jason Curtis, in about 20 or 25 minutes, bro. It's going to be a good one.
Well, with that being said, thank you, gentlemen, for letting me jump on unexpectedly, unannounced. That's how I do it. If I'm not hosting, you never know when I'm going to come on. Most of the time, I'm in the comment section trying to troll Night Owl, trying to get a pop out of him. But it's better to just come on here face to face. And I'm glad I got to come on here with my boy Hoss. Hoss, it's been a long time since you and I have been together, man. Well, I think we're about due for hosting an episode of Wrestle Talk podcast together. You know what I mean? But listen, I'm excited, man. A lot of great independent professional wrestling coming up. A lot of great major promotions coming up. My boy right here, Rocky Maivia, he's about to walk out of WrestleMania weekend champion. I don't care. I'm shitting on all y'all. I'm the Rock. I'm a Rock Mark. I don't give a shit. Let's go Rock. I don't care if it's Cody Roman. Rock's walking out. That's what I'm saying right now.
Sonny, we got a request, and you don't have to take it, bro. If you got to go, you got to go. But people are requesting that you participate in the shoot and shout segment. Do you have a quick one?
I'll get you in a shooting shot, all right? Let's get a shooting shot going, and then I'm going to be out the door, okay?
Yeah, let's go, baby. Let's go ahead, because people want to hear from Mayo.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, you know how we do it. This week's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Shoot and Shout segment, where everybody gets 30 to 60 seconds to get it off their chest. Anything that's bothering you, doesn't matter what it is, wrestling related or not, we want to hear about it. We consider this to be a little bit of a therapeutic session. You know what to do, John. Go ahead and cue up that music. Tonight's edition, Shoot and Shout segment. Let's go.
It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Everything is fun, everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life's on contract. Your best bet's to stay away, motherfucker. It's just one of those days. It's all about the he says, she says bullshit. I think you better quit letting that slip, or you'll be leaving with a fat lip. It's all about the he says,
all right, let's get this thing going. Let's go, baby. You guys know what the question is. Who wants to go first?
What the question or just
who wants to go first? Who wants to go first? That's the question.
Hoss, go ahead first, bro. I'm gonna let you take this.
Are you ready, John?
You got something you need to get off your chest over there, Hoss?
What's that? It was frozen. I didn't hear you.
Well, are you ready for your shoot and shout?
Oh, I reckon I can go.
Come on, all right, let's go.
You know, my shoot and shout is going to be the damn federal government. Why is it the damn federal government, they sit there and tell you, we want this, we want it now, and they rush you and rush you and rush you. But yet, when you want something from them, it can take them 3 damn years to get it. What the hell? You want speed from me? Give me speed back, damn
it. and Sonny, just because you're the band, you're the special guest, bro. I'm gonna let you go last. Give you plenty of time to prepare. I'll go ahead and take the next one.
I'll try to keep this at 60 seconds here.
All
okay,
right.
Nada?
All right. So you get to close this out. I'm gonna go ahead and
okay, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
All right, guys. My shoot and shout is very, very simple. I hate dishonesty, even on the pettiest levels. Let me explain. You guys all know that today's customer service is pretty much 80% subsidized to other parts of the world for labor and savings purposes. Okay, let me put my corporate hat on here a little bit. Okay, I'm aware that when I need AT&T or T-Mobile or whatever, whomever, Verizon's customer service, the most likely scenario is that I'm not going to be speaking to someone in my neighborhood or maybe even in my state or most likely not even in my own country. And I'm okay with that because I think we all need to work together as a planet to make things better, to cooperate so we can move forward and progress as a people. But when we start this conversation with lies, I just immediately go into shutdown mode, and it makes me want to bring these sorts of topics to this therapeutic session because it really pisses me off and grinds my gears. Explain to me why somebody with a heavy Middle Eastern accent introduces himself as Peter or Stephen or Chuck. No, you're not. That is not, bro. If we're going to come to an agreement on any level, we have to start building this relationship, as insignificant as it may be, with honesty. Your name is not Jonathan, okay? Tell me your real name so that we can work through the awkwardness of me trying to figure out how to pronounce it, okay? Then once we get past that, I feel better. Now we've made a connection because you had to help me work through your real name, okay? and I got it ready, bro. I've been practicing I'm ready. So give me a chance, dog, because if you're going to lie to me from the moment you say hello, Peter, we're not going to be able to get anywhere in this relationship. In the words of Jerry Maguire, okay, Ahmed, help me help you so we can get this thing done and I can stop getting these annoying texts on my phone from Sharice Davids, okay? That's my shooting shot tonight. Why can't we just start with a little bit of honesty and assume that people can accept and deal with it? It's 2024. I'm hoping people start to develop a little bit of a thicker skin, guys. Tell me the truth. Then from there, there's endless possibilities. That's my shooting shot for the evening because I'm sick of the lies.
I need to work on that a little bit, bro, before I get to that point. But I feel you. I feel you. I feel you, Hoss. Yo, Hoss, I feel you too, bro. The government is the drizzling shits, okay? So here's mine. And let me preface this by saying that I've had and still am in the management world. So for anybody out there who is going to apply to a full-time job, and before you apply or when you apply or after you apply and you were in the interview and you understand that the hours are, hey, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m., 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, we need you here. This is kind of more I've noticed that the younger generation, not saying that people our age or in the older generation don't do it also, but I definitely notice it more with this younger generation coming up. So I'm going to sound like as what they call an old head here, okay? If you make a commitment to a full-time job, show the fuck up to work. Plain and simple. Now, listen, I understand more than anybody. People get sick. People get flat tires. Kids get sick. Your wife gets a flat tire. You have a doctor's appointment. I understand life happens. Hell, I can even buy what they call now, what they call it is mental illness days. What I call it is a fuck it day, okay? Because you are only a human being. You are not a machine. And I, even though and in management, I will be the first one to tell you that I get about 3 to 4, maybe 5 bucket days out of the year where I wake up and go, hey, it's 2 degrees. I don't feel like going outside. I'm not going to work. Or, hey, it's 95 degrees and I feel like taking my kid to the pool. Now, with that being said, and Night Out can attest to this, I put in my time. I continue to put in my time. I show up to work and I give them at least 10 hours a day at my shoot job. Then let alone come home and put on the dad hat and the husband hat, Wrestle Talk podcast hat. With that being said, though, when I signed up for a full-time job, I knew what the hours were. I show up to work on time, and I do the job to the best of my abilities, okay? Hey, listen, you got a handicap. You can't work full-time. God bless you. I understand. That's how it shakes out sometimes. But if you are an able, capable human being who can go work and signs up for a job, and you were Monday through Fridays, Tuesday through Saturday, Sunday through Thursday, overnights, mornings, does not matter. You make a commitment to the job, show up for your commitment and put in your time and put in your work. Step your game up. Stop being a crumb bumper. That's my shooting shot. Can't stand it, bro. Cannot stand it. So many people come in and they give you hey, glad to be here. Yeah, I can't wait to train. And you put 3 weeks in and you've called in 5 times because your grandmother died 3 of them and you got sick the other 9 times. Like, come on, bro. If you don't want to work here, you don't want to put the commitment in, go down the Subway. And God bless. Not saying Subway's a bad spot, but whatever the case may be, you know what you're stepping into. You know what the hours are. Don't be a fucking crumb bum. No one likes that. All right. So let me piece it out here real quick. I'm going to get in the comment section. I cannot wait for Jason Curtis, bro. That's a major interview, exclusive for Wrestle Talk podcast. I know how far he has come. So I really am legit excited for that interview. You know what I mean? But gentlemen, thank you so much for letting me join tonight. I know it was unannounced, unexpected. I just kind of popped in. I got called a chicken shit. I don't appreciate that, so go screw yourself, Night Owl, on that tip. But I love you guys.
Me.
You called me chicken.
Section.
You called me chicken.
Bro, you weren't here. the week after when people were in the comment section saying you and Rodell was chicken, and they was being nice about it. They didn't even call you out your name. So
I'm
you
gonna
didn't think that because y'all didn't show up. Say what
I'm
you
gonna
want to say.
I'm gonna send them the
Say what you
AOL.
wanna say.
Listen,
It wasn't me, by the way.
Let me
I'm
tell
just
you this.
making clear
Let
my
me tell
name.
you this.
It wasn't
Let me
me.
tell you this. All them people who call me chicken, I'm gonna send you the AOL LimeWire virus. All right, keep fucking with me. Don't fuck with me. All right, I show up to work. Show up to work. Go to work. Don't be a bum. All right, that's what it is. Wrestle Talk Podcast. I love you guys. I love everybody out there in the comment section. Hoss, I love you, brother. I cannot wait to host with you, man. We're long overdue. Night Owl, my brother. I love you. Thank you so much. All right.
Yeah.
One
peace.
love.
One love. One love. One love. John, you want to summarize all that? Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, muted, bud. The muted bud got you too. There you go. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's been a great show so far. I tell you, it's been fun, and we got a lot more fun coming up. But before we get to that fun, I think we have our resident chaplain waiting backstage to come on and give us a shoot and shout. I mean, a snippets of truth segment just before we bring Jason Curtis on here. So, what do you say we go ahead and we get to the snippets of truth here?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm down to do that, and I know that's what everybody's been looking forward to. So let's go ahead and keep it moving. And just a big thanks to everybody who was wilding in the comment section. The man himself, Jay Hollywood, Susie still killing in there. We've had AJ in here. We had Bernie in here a little bit earlier. You guys have absolutely been knocking out of the park. Luchador, thank you for being here as well. Timmy, what's happening? Jim, we saw you earlier. Shout out, shout out, shout out. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit that share button. That's all we ask. And if you're really feeling generous, we do have the mugs available. So I'm sorry, the tumblers available. So make sure you shout out to myself, Hoss, anybody on the team, and we'll get you taken care of. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, man. I'm ready for some snippets. And Big Daddy P just heard all that. So I want to see what he thinks. That was wild. Yo, Mayo's wild. Go ahead, bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the snippets of truth. And here is our resident chaplain, the one and only Big Daddy P.
Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out.
What's up, gentlemen?
Que pasa, que pasa, que pasa, Big Daddy P. How the heck you doing, man?
So much hostility tonight.
That's why we need you right here bro. We need you right here for this reason.
I was enjoying it, but I was feeling bad for Sonny because he thinks he works for himself. That's what's funny. He works for the Lord. He don't even work for himself. So, Sonny, I just got a little message for you. Your breath, controlled by him. Your money, controlled by him. You don't work for man. You work for the Lord. Never forget that.
Facts. Big Daddy P coming in, firing away. Man, how you been, brother? You're looking great.
Brother, I'm blessed, man. I remembered tonight and didn't get so overwhelmed that I forgot. About 15 minutes to 8, I'm like, okay, now's the time. Don't forget, all is well. And here we are.
No, here we are indeed. We actually have a tremendous guest coming up here in about 10 to 12 minutes or so. And I wanted to kind of, because he's in the back now listening, watching the show. You've been around this business for a while, both as a fan and as a promoter. You even stepped in the ring once, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, had a match or two. So when you're a year or two in and you're actually getting to live your dream, what things can you share with somebody who's kind of beginning that journey relatively early in their career to kind of keep them locked in and committed to it? Because something like this is a lifelong journey From all the opportunities we've ever had to interview all these legends, Perry, what I've learned, even listening to you, this isn't something that comes and goes. If it's in you for life, and you can kind of never let it go. Go ahead and speak on that if you don't mind.
Well, especially in the wrestling business, forget about the money, because if you're caught up on the money, you'll never be happy. Really. Because even Cody Rhodes, with what he's making, he's still not happy because he still hasn't finished his story. So, with that being said, let me just say that on the independent scene, you got to prove yourself. You've got to be able to, and a year is great. Keep going. Don't stop. Wait till 2 years. Wait till 3 years. Wait till you're 4 years, and all the experience and everything that you learn. Because, see, we forget that these life situations aren't by accident or by coincidence. God has put us in these positions for a reason. So the question is, what are you doing with what you have now? Because think about it. If you go back a year and he's only been in it a year, he wasn't doing nothing last year. So now this year he's involved. So my recommendation to you, be flexible. You work for the promoter. Okay. Now, if the promoter's an idiot, you'll know, go somewhere else. If you can't go anywhere else, stay there. But because I've worked for some really crappy promoters and who do bad business. And so I just make the decision not to do business with people like that. But if you're in a good situation and people are caring about you and you're making a difference, you might not be champ. You might not be at the top. You might be in the middle. You might even be at the bottom. But let me tell you, true leadership starts with servanthood. So start serving, keep serving, don't stop serving until you realize when people are working for you that you've made it. Because I didn't start off as a promoter in the wrestling business. I didn't. I started off as a guest coming for a professional wrestler who knew I had some money and who I liked promotion. And he introduced me to the owner, and the owner says, well, do you want to be general manager? So my first experience was being a general manager. I knew the wrestling, but I didn't know the backside of the business. I didn't see how business was being run. But once I realized how business was being run, I knew that if my ambition, which was always to be a promoter, my ambition was never to be a wrestler. Maybe if I did it 25 years before, I could have. But now that I'm older, I knew I wasn't ever going to have a match, so I thought, until my booker booked a situation that required the owner, me, to be challenged by the number one heel. So see, the story fit. And I want you to remember something too, and this is super important. You're not promoted unless God promotes you. Just remember that. He's never going to put you in a situation that you can't get out of. It might seem hopeless, helpless, but it's not. He always provides a way out. So in this example that you're using, for this person who's been in there a year, be patient. Not everything is going to go your way, and never everything is going to be good, but only you know that God is doing something in your life. You just don't know what it is. So be patient, stay where you're at, continue to work hard, and in due time, when the time is sweet and the time is right, will you be who you want to be? Look at Cody Rhodes. Look at what Cody has had to been through. Look at the shit he's had to eat, right? To get to Stardust. Really? Right? But that's what he had to do in order to get, and then the story still wasn't
so
done.
Bad.
Then he had to leave WWE and go start a brand new promotion that everybody didn't know what we were going to get. And now on the tail end, we look and go, that's it.
Kind of hard to believe, right?
3,300 seats versus 52,000. And I'm so glad they split the elimination chamber in those corners, because a lot of people complained they got screwed because they couldn't see because of the way it's designed.
The design.
Yeah,
they had one other thing they need to fix. There was a shadow situation right in the middle of the ring. There was something up there. I can't remember what it was exactly that was preventing the light from hitting the superstars. Because, when they're right in the middle of the ring, that's where the money moves happen in a lot of cases, right? If you go back and watch it, there was some lighting issues there. But I've been patient, and I wanted to do this because we do have a little bit of time left. And there's somebody that I think needs to be brought in on this topic. Big Daddy P, I know we're going to get the snippets. We're going to close out with prayer. But there's one more Hotspots topic that I think is worthy of talking about. And since you are in tune with the business, I'm sure you wouldn't mind joining me for one more topic, would you?
Dude, I would go to the gates of hell with you, but I ain't
going. Ditto, baby. All right. Let me go ahead and bring it up here because this is an interesting one. And anytime I get the opportunity to talk about talent that's getting a spotlight that they deserve, I think it needs to be discussed. So first, I will bring on this gentleman here. What's up, champ?
Hey, he came out of the closet.
Yeah, I know, man. It's 2024. I'm just saying, look.
Promoted, see? I told you.
Nice.
No, and
nice.
then, you know what? And I want to, if I can take the opportunity to, you know, give everybody an update, but also to build off of what Perry's saying here. You know, God is always throwing challenges our way, but it's, you know, how we see them through and how we overcome them that we get somewhere in our life. And I'm reaching that point now where I'm seeing that, where I understand he's pitching a stone at me, but he's, you know, can it be am I going to make it a layup or am I going to make it impossible for myself? You know, you remember when you said, Perry, it was a couple shows ago, and I think about this a lot, and I appreciate you for saying this. What is it? Challenge is inevitable. Stress is optional. I forget.
Problems are guaranteed, but
that's what it
stress
was.
is optional.
And I love that because that's how I'm looking at it. So bright side, you know, we got a situation here with the lease on my apartment. We'll get it situated. I know we're gonna work it out in the end. For me, I look at this as a golden opportunity. My job is flexible, so I get to work wherever I need to. It doesn't matter. And my girl gets an opportunity to work somewhere she's never got to work before. She's getting pretty stale right now, Ulta, you know, and we just need a new location. Scenery. So this is a good change.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
25. Holy cow, I've got shorts older than you. Dude,
take him to Savers, Perry. Perry, take him to
Bab.
Savers, bro. What's wrong with you, bro?
I want you to remember this, and it's and I hope you remember it like you remembered the other one.
Always.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You are where you are because that's where he wants you to be. Otherwise, you'd be somewhere else. So embrace it, learn to be content. Like our brother Apostle Paul said, I've been poor, I've been rich. I've had the best, I've been beaten. So in the end, and really, if you have as much animosity as I do towards our enemy, because I watch our enemy play games with people and hurt people that I care about, and I there's this one saying that I always say where when I go, I want the Lord to take me upside down so that while the devil's sitting on the earth, I can give him 2 middle fingers for all that he's done. But you know, the most traumatic things I've ever been through, he had nothing to do with, that God allowed it to happen, because it was in those situations that I needed adjustment. And I wasn't teachable, and I wasn't ready to be adjusted because I want my own balloompa now. I want my way. And I didn't have the foresight to see what was ahead. So when you continue to trust God, and he gives you these opportunities to trust him, because he wants to be the most trustworthy God. There's only one, but he wants to be the most important in your life. And it doesn't mean you got to act square, because I smoke cigars. I have a mouth that sometimes could be cleaner, but he's not expecting me to be perfect. He's just expecting me to be obedient. And that's sometimes obedience is wrapped in what it appears to be suffering. Like, why would God want me to do this? Well, if he knew that he already knew what I was going to do, but if I didn't do it, he knew what was going to happen before. So my theory is the greatest risk in life is to take no risk at all. If God is edging me to do something, even though I don't have all the information, I need to have the faith to trust him that he's going to provide. So I know you have for 25, you've got an amazing attitude, okay? I didn't come around till I was 31 years old. I'll be 53 next month. And I have learned, most importantly, that not only is he trustworthy, but those he puts around me because we're sharpening each other. We're helping and encouraging each other. And that unity
It's my
That
favorite.
unity pisses our enemy off
Yeah.
more than anything.
Yeah.
That's
hell yeah.
It's my favorite. A good buddy of the podcast, Ace, he shared a photo of these dudes. You guys have probably seen them on YouTube or floating around on Facebook of those people where they're just making stuff out of like mud in the middle of this, like they're making these man-made structures just out of hose and
Sticks
using
and
their own.
shit.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the craziest shit. I'm just like, dude, the indomitability of the human spirit. That's what I call it. And I love that you use that word unity. That's the perfect word to describe it. It's just that we as humans, when we all come together, especially in the eyes of God, it's like beautiful. But anyways, hallelujah. Are we talking wrestling? We're talking pro
Can I give
wrestling.
some flowers? Can I give some flowers?
I love Robert. Look at Robert's comment. I love this. And Robert, I hate religion. Just so you know, if you were to sit down and ask Jesus what frustrated him the most, it was the religious people. There is a difference between religion and Christianity. Religion is man's way of trying to prove how good we are to God. Christianity is God showing how wonderful and awesome he is to us. So religion, which is a man-made thing, has nothing to do with having a relationship with the Creator. So as long as you continue to surround yourself with people who encourage you, and when someone comes along, like I'm 6'3", but I'm over 300 pounds. I'm a big boy. And people in the past have called me fat, and I'm cool with that. I just say, I may be fat, but you're ugly, and I can go on a diet. And that settles it every single time. So the haters are out there. The skeptics are out there. Okay. They're out there. But the thing is, greater is he who is in me than who's in the world. So since I know that, and he said he has overcome the world, then I don't have to worry about nothing. But when you got $1.12 in your bank account and like 2,100 that's due, right? You get scared. And it's God saying once again, do you trust me? And that doesn't have to be financially, like in your housing situation, or it could be a love situation. Yeah. You know, just know, again, when you know, like I knew when I was coming on at 8 that there was a chance I'd be on between 8 and 8:15. I didn't care if it was 8:30. I always know, because I trust Renee and I trust you guys to know that if I come on, that we're going to deliver some truth, because this world is so filled with bullshit. And listen, and I don't know if I mentioned this last week.
It's in the name, folks. Snippets of truth.
If I mentioned this last week, forgive me, I'm getting old, but it's important. And if I forget it, that's even funnier, because that happens too. But in our government, we have a department that focuses on fake money. They don't study the fake bills.
I think we're like, Craig, I just got to say this real quick. I think we're definitely hitting our quota for government shade on today's episode. That's too.
Listen,
proud of you
guys. They don't study fake bills. They only study the real ones. Yep. So when the fake comes along, you know. And inside of you is his spirit, right? His job as Holy Spirit is to be like in freaking Pinocchio, Jiminy Cricket. It was his conscience. Are you sure this is what you want to do? And it gives you an opportunity to make a decision. Okay, I hear you. Do I trust your advice, or do I think I can figure it out on my own? Now, his love won't change. He'll still, even if you choose against what he wants, because he's a loving father. As a loving father, Renee, you know that when your child misses the mark, you don't extol them and tell them they're no longer available to be your child. They'll always be your child. But you will, if you know disciplining them will teach them. God says he loves us so much that he disciplines us, because it keeps us in line, because we don't know what's best for us sometimes. And instead of saying, I'm going to figure it out. Again, everybody's different, and everyone's time schedule is different with him, but he don't change. We're just another generation passing through of people who think they know what's best, and that's cool. But in the end, he knows what's best, and it usually has to do with somebody else. So the lady that, or did you say your girlfriend?
Fiance. If I'm
fiance. Again, I don't. Today you can't. Who knows? Listen, I learned about a year and a half ago that I no longer identify as only but one thing, an African-American cucumber. But that's a whole nother story in itself. But your fiance, again, I know
be all right, baby.
I didn't want to get all into that. I was just going to say that your fiance, you two are coming together. And the Bible says that when two are come together, they become one flesh. You become one. So what hurts you hurts her. What hurts her hurts you. And so you guys make this decision together. No regrets. Make it together. And when it all comes through, you'll be able to look back and say, you see how we work together here? Well, let's work together over here. Because I know what it's like to be in relationships that don't work. I was married at 20, married at 30, married at 40, finally married at 49. Now I know after all this time what it's like to have somebody who understands love, and it's sacrificial. So it's going to require change at some point, but just trust him, because in the end, it will turn out great. If it doesn't turn out great, he still works all things together for good for those who love him. So keep loving him, and I promise you, bro, you've already come out of the closet, so you've already gone back.
I got him with that.
Just keep going.
In his defense, he did have a Rick Boogs t-shirt in that closet.
I'm wearing that Rick Boogs shirt, actually.
So on his defense, Perry, he was trying within his means the best that he could. Well, hey, listen, and Big Daddy P, you know how the game goes. So we are a little bit into Jason Curtis's time. So we're gonna expedite this because I did want to.
We always have next week.
No, of course. But
was there
was one? No, there was one question, and it's just a super kick rating. 5 is 5 super kicks, best of the best. 1 is the worst, right? You know the super kick rating system we do here on the okay. So I'm just gonna pop up the question: Rhea and Nia, 5 super kicks, 1 super kick. They were the main event. How do you think they performed? Just give us the quickest snippet you can on it.
I'll give it 4 super kicks.
Okay, and 2
sentences. Why? I've seen worse.
You've seen worse. Okay. All right, Gabe. Same for you.
I actually haven't seen the match yet, so I'm very undecided.
It's not easy when you're wrestling somebody who's over 300 pounds, and I mean no disrespect. It is a timing thing. It's hard. And not only that, everybody had they had excited jet lag. They're excited to be there. But when you travel that far, and I've been to Africa 4 times, it's 15 hours each way. Okay. That's a brutal trip. Theirs was like 20. So I know that half the junk that I didn't like about Elimination Chamber, I didn't like because they were all dealing with just being used to you're excited, but coming back is brutal. So,
and then San Diego a day and a half later. Gabe?
I actually haven't had an opportunity to watch Elimination Chamber yet.
Okay, well, we won't spoil it for you. All right, Big Daddy P.
Guys, cut me a break. New Japan's awesome.
It's okay. No, I don't blame you. MLW's on fire too. Big Daddy P, give us the Cliff Notes version of tonight's Snippets of Truth.
I already gave it.
No prayer?
Yeah, no, we'll pray, but I already gave the snippet of truth.
Well, I thought the prayer was part of the snippets.
Snippets of truth is separate.
I thought it was
a snippet.
Questioning his process.
No, I just understood it differently. That's all.
You actually got more than a snippet tonight. I don't know what's more than a snippet.
A whole reel?
Nia Jax
got a whole reel. Go ahead, Big Daddy P. Handle your business.
But again, if anybody is listening right now and you have a prayer request, don't worry about the religion side of having to mark it down. God knows what our needs are even before we ask it. So let's go to him in prayer, not because we have to, but because we want to. Because as a loving father, he wants his children to come to him with their problems. And it's really easy. It goes just like this. Father God, thank you so much. We acknowledge that your word tells us that our prayers should go to you first, because in between you and us is your son, Jesus Christ, who is you in the flesh. And it's important for those that are listening to know that when we come to you, we have an expectation. We know that you love us. We know that you're listening to us. But we also know that sometimes we ask for things that we don't need and we don't know it. I thank you for the unanswered prayers, for all the people that I said, oh, have them be my spouse, but turned out to be wrong. But I come to you tonight with an attitude of gratitude, with a basket full of thanksgiving, knowing that when I call upon you, I don't get a busy signal. I don't get a dial tone. I don't get voicemail. You're always ready to listen. So I want to bring to you all the petitions for those that are listening right now, Father. You know their needs, whether it's health, finances, relationships, locations, their jobs, whatever it is, you know what it is. And I just pray that who's ever listening right now, Father, would come to you with that they would acknowledge you in this situation, and they would bring this situation to you, hoping that you would solve it to them. Not that you're a genie and we can rub you, but the fact remains is you want what's best for us, and you give us the desires of our heart. And I thank you for this time, for those that are listening, for those who are going to listen later, Father. I thank you that your words keep continuing to encourage even one tonight. You know, I don't do this for the money. I don't do this for the recognition. I do it out of obedience, because you brought somebody here tonight who needed to hear this truth. And I'm thankful that you continue to use us. I'm thankful that the gates of hell can never prevail over your church. And Father God, I know one of the messages you wanted me to remind these people tonight is that if I were to ask the question, how many churches are there in the world, Lord? The answer is not 32 million, but it's one church. For we are all one in Christ Jesus. And even though we might be in different locations, your love for us doesn't change, especially in the farthest parts of Russia, China, all these other countries. We are those that have chosen to put their faith and trust in you. We are all part of the same body on this earth. And I thank you that you continue to build it and that you call us co-workers with you. What a privilege we have to call upon you, and I thank you, and I love you, and I ask these things in Christ's name. Amen. That's it, baby.
Big Daddy P, thank you so much for handling your business and joining us and being a good brother. I feel like there's a lot of different things we can do with these 15 or 20 minutes. I've not found anything better that we can do with these 15 or 20 minutes. So God bless you, bro. Thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure. And Gabriel, keep chopping away, brother. Don't give up.
You know it.
You have nothing
see this kid. Hey, everything you said about this guy, I wanted to throw one bit of flowers. His wrestling mind at 25 would blow your mind. How much he knows and how closely he follows. That's a conversation we'll have to save for another show. It's crazy.
I always mention my uncle. I always pride myself on the old stuff. He's the reason I don't know about the Midnight Express. And it's like, to me, that is the most essential in wrestling.
And hey, don't make sure to use it and don't lose it. Because everything that's been given to you was handed down to him, and he handed it down to you. So look for that one out there who's maybe younger than you, who hasn't been there yet, who you can pour into. Don't worry about your position, because your position is secured by him.
It's funny you mentioned that. I do have one. My buddy
See?
Juno. If I can name drop him on the podcast, I love you, Juno. Because I know if I tell him I'm gonna tweet this out to him, and he's gonna mark out. I promise.
Hey, it's your show too, baby. Why not?
We all have somebody who has mentored us up to this point. And so that's, I think, one of the greatest gifts. And my final thing is to share Ezra 7:10. Ezra set his heart on learning the word. And then not only did he learn it, but he applied it. And then he shared it. So all that we're learning because he wants us to give it to somebody else. Somebody who without you being there would not have had it any other way. So be thankful. We're blessed for sure.
We're thankful for you, Big Daddy P. We'll see you next week, big dog. Peace.
God willing, until next time.
Heck yeah, you heard him, y'all. Woo. Damn, Gabe. Woo. Hey, here's what I'm gonna do though.
Taking it back, bro.
No, bro. Here's what I'm gonna do. It's hard to transition from that because Big Daddy P brings something to the show that, like I said, is irreplaceable. So thank you for everyone who sits through that and deals with it. We don't put specific time frames on the show. We promise we're going to give you a solid 30 minutes with Jason Curtis. We're not going to steal that from anybody. Maybe a little bit more. But the bottom line is this is who we are. Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay, sorry. There's a button I always click.
No problem. This is who we are. That's what the Wrestle Talk podcast has always been about. We just like to share of us to you, and hopefully you can relate to it. And if there are parts of it that you can't, we understand that too. That doesn't mean that we don't appreciate your support or that we don't want you around. As a matter of fact, we hope we can find common ground. So whether you're 25 or 27, just know we'll find something to get along about it.
Whether
you're
dirty, whether you're a dirty punk fan or a Danhausen purist like myself.
Danhausen. We were just talking about Danhausen last week. All right, well, let's do this, man. I'm gonna have you. Indeed. Hey, he actually just showed up in St. Louis last week. We were talking about that on last week's show as well. I'm gonna do this though. Mm-hmm. Haas is working on getting back on. I'm going to have you rejoin us in a few minutes because I want to do a very proper introduction for this guest. There's a lot of personal sentiment that goes into this one for me because, he's one of our guys. So, Gabe, I'm going to have you come back in just a few minutes. By the way, that Warriors Heart Championship, that thing is pretty, boy.
Look at this.
We need to get that thing as much camera time as possible. So we'll bring you back in a few, okay?
By all means, man. I know this is your time, but I'm kicking it.
Hey, say some fries for me, though, dog. What's up, man? Come on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to Jason Curtis one last time, Royal Mills Transportation, Noble Ben's Barber Lounge in Kansas City, Missouri, Kincaid Arcade at the Oak Park Mall, Interstate 70 Sports Media, again, that big MLW press conference that we're going to be a part of, that media access, unlimited media access that we're going to share with you guys. Little Popeye Designs for the Tumblr, and, of course, the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWWC. That's right, since he's not here to say it himself. Hopefully we can get you back on, John, man. I know you want to be part of this interview, man. This one's important to you personally as well. But all that said, guys, when we interview people, I always like to say to the guest, hey, if you have something coming up or something that you just did that's notable, that is the most it's the most convenient time to have you on. Because it's great to sit back and shoot the shit, but really the energy goes through the roof when people are really excited about something either they just did or they're getting ready to do. Now, because this is someone's career who I followed pretty closely, I've been excited about having this man on for a while. John said it earlier. He is a personal friend. I'll be the first to admit it. But he's also somebody who has earned his way every step of the way. From when I met him in our fantasy group, the FWWC, quite a few years ago, to now that he's actually out in the real professional wrestling world, living his dream, to starting his family and, keeping up with him in terms of what like tattoos he's been getting because we're both big Mario fans, to his weight loss journey and everything that he's gone through. I think this man is an inspiration, and I think it speaks to, if you stick with it and you're passionate about something, you show a level of consistency, the sky is truly the limit. So we've known him by a couple of different names in the past, but now you can catch him in the up in the Eastern Panhandle, handling his business, managing his clients. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestle Talk podcast for the very first time officially, the one, the only, Mr. Jason Curtis.
What's up? What's up,
big man? Woo-hoo-hoo. Welcome to the show, dog. Welcome.
Finally, I get to finally be on the Wrestle Talk podcast as a wrestler, as a manager, as somebody who's in the business. So thank you for having me on.
Dude, no, it's a privilege to have you on, actually, bro, because there are a few stories that that you get intimate with, that you get familiar with, that you don't eventually become a cheerleader for. So in terms of you and your journey through professional wrestling, I guess we'll start with the simplest thing first. How did you make the decision that you wanted to make a transition, not only for yourself physically, because I know that's a hell of a story, but also to build up the confidence enough to go after your dream and dive in headfirst into the world of professional wrestling? Because it's one thing to do it in a fantasy wrestling group, but it's a totally different thing to actually show up to the school, spend that time with Professor Jacob Edwin and the rest of the guys that you trained with. I mean, it's a whole nother level, bro. It's like jumping out of an airplane after spending some time in the simulator, bro. You got to talk to us about that, and just feel free to speak from the heart.
All right. So, wow. So let me just go ahead and start off. I became a fan of wrestling back when I was like 9, 10 years old in the late 90s. And I always said somehow, one way or another, I was always going to make myself get there, either professionally or independently. Didn't have it in my mindset how I was going to do it. Met some friends who brought me into the fantasy world, which I got to meet you, Renee, and meet John Hardcore Hoss and Susie Hoss and a lot of people, even Sonny Money Mayo. But that right there kind of boosted me even farther to push for my dream. And that was to seek out a school and get my way into the business. So actually, before I started seeking the school, I became a security guard for a local promotion up here called Eastern Panhandle Pro Wrestling as a security guard. Worked there for about a year. They became the head security guy for them. That company actually ended up shutting down. And I was like, well, I'm screwed. Don't know how to get really into it. So still, having my connections, reaching out to other people. They got me connected to the schooling that I went to, World Domination Wrestling Alliance here in Martinsville, West Virginia, and started training. I was not going to I was like, I'll never get into the ring itself because I do have some ailments and physical abilities that I could not do. One of it being I was overweight and I was really big guy. So I was like, I'll just be a manager. That way I can still be in the business. And I kept working and getting my weight down. And I did have surgery, weight loss surgery, to help me feel a lot better. And with learning more and more about it, I was getting pushed that you're going to have to learn how to take the bumps, learn how to throw this and lock up and do that and do this. It's pushed me even further. So I started fully training. Let's see, I got married in 2021. Got me all flustered now. I started training the middle of September of 2021 and officially graduated in December of 2023. So I have now I can go do whatever I want to do kind of thing. But I pushed myself. I've had matches. I've been managing. I can do pretty much a lot of things that I never thought I could do. Actually, I just saw a comment, if you don't mind me jumping on this,
of
from
course.
Billy Bowers.
Billy.
Yeah, Billy, he's a good friend of mine. I actually trained with him. He's a referee for WDWA. And when we were training, he looked at me and said, you need to shut up until you learn how to take all these bumps and how to lock up and do the things that we're doing. Don't ever give me advice. And let me tell you, I took that to heart and I ran with it, and I have pushed myself even harder to learn as much as I can. And I don't know if anybody's ever said this, you never stop learning in this business. You never stop learning.
Man, that's very, very well said. And I'll be honest with you, like, you know me long enough. I try to be strategic with the things that I do. And I'm going to be the first to say it. Bro, when I first met you, there's no way I could have put you in single cam and you would have been able to start and end with the confidence that you did that just over the last couple of minutes. Like, I, as a fan of yours, have seen the progression, And it's really all come from your support system. I mean, you just go down this line of people that are in your corner, of people that are cheering for you, people that want to see you win. You can add me to that list. You can add Hardcore Hoss to that list and everybody else. I think there's no way for you to continue to progress and get better. And I'll tell you what, and I'll say it again, when I first met you, there's no way that, because we got a lot of people. I mean, just on the Facebook alone, when you were doing that, I think we had 13, and then we got the X and the YouTube and everything. Like, bro, that speaks volumes, not just about what you're doing in wrestling, but who you are as a man with your wife and with your children. Like, the leadership is now starting to ooze out of you. And what's crazy, we said it when we put it up on the post, when we dropped the poster, like, you're literally just getting started. How old are you, Jason?
I just turned 34 years old.
Okay, bro. I mean, come on, man. Come on. And you're just now getting in the best shape of your life. I mean, when was the last time you were this healthy? Let's be honest. Like, early
Honestly,
teens, maybe? Early teens?
I just, what day was it? I just posted it, I think, Saturday, that I re-weighed myself, and I now officially weigh in the 220s. I'm 229 pounds. And I have not seen that number since I think 9th grade or even 8th grade.
9th or 8th grade. That's freaking crazy, bro. Crazy. See what I'm saying, bro? The people are coming out to support Mr. Jason Curtis. So we're going to talk about you and some of your clients and all that. But again, guys, Jason Curtis is somebody that we personally know, and we're going to get a little bit more into his story. But I don't want to be selfish, because guess who got himself reconnected and is not going to let tonight go by without joining us? Ladies and gentlemen, the hardcore champ himself, a man that's got some gold over his shoulder in the FWWC as well. Y'all already know my dog, Hardcore Hoss.
Where's your championship there, Hoss? Where's your championship?
Bro, it's a long show for him. I told him this before. I'm like, bro, the belt looks great, but we got to run boards. We got to do all this. So he can't, we working, dog. We working. We working over here. Yeah. Unless we get it extended so it goes around the waist, John, I think you got to, you know what I'm saying?
But it's always a good time here on the show, no matter what.
Oh, Hell yeah. So, John, you have a relationship with Jason Curtis that's a little bit different from mine. You've actually had a chance to see him work. Can you speak on that, and then maybe a little bit of you guys' personal relationship as well?
Yeah, I've gotten the opportunity to see Jason work. Work both as manager, and I've seen him in a few matches as well. And he really has been doing a bang up job. We've gotten in trouble together at WDWA already. One of his first matches, he had me film it and send to him, and when I did, we got in trouble for filming it because we weren't supposed to put it up yet. And
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
You don't know what you don't know. Yeah, the promotions are a little sensitive about their
trainee. I was
you're
still
not supposed
technically a
to do
trainee. Yeah, it was the first one of my first times, and I got him. I was like, "Hey, I need you to do this for me," and he said, "Yeah, I'll do it for you." And I posted it, and not even 24 hours later, he got message. I got message. You need to take that down right now. I'm like, all right. I understand.
Yeah, promotions are a little sensitive about their content. You might need, now I'm glad you know that now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. John, go ahead, man.
But yeah, so it's been a privilege to get to see him, progress from security, and I've gotten to see some things through his life as well. I mean, like Susie pointed out, he proposed to his wife at the wrestling matches one night. Susie and I were there when that happened. And so, the wrestling has really been a big part of his life. And it's great to see him grow through this whole thing.
So yeah, how was that, bro? That sounds crazy.
So what I want to talk about the proposal actually real quick. So it was at the EPPW show, and I went to him like months in advance, and I said, "Look, I want to propose to my girlfriend at the time, and I want to make her, official." And I was like, "But I want to do it in the ring." And then I was like, "I don't know. She's going to actually be. She doesn't like being in the center of attention, and she always wears flip flops." And I was like, "I have a feeling if she tries to walk up the steps and get in this ring, she's going to end up busting her butt on the ropes or something." So I ended up just doing it outside the ring, and but all night I was so nervous that during intermission I would always go talk to her, and we would go to the concession stand. I would introduce her to other wrestlers and stuff like that. But I stayed away from her the whole time. I stayed away from her, and she even said that was something like a red flag for her. She was like, "Something's going on." And what's even more funnier is the very next day we were supposed to get ready that night. Because shows ran Friday night, and on Saturday we were doing a gender reveal for our child, my youngest child that we have, and so she didn't even want to come to the show, and I was like, "I need you to come to the show. I need you there." She's like, "Why do you want me there?" I don't even remember what I told her.
It means everything to me, babe. Everything.
Yeah. So of course, and at the end of the intermission, the ring announcer got in the ring, and I went in, and I pushed him, and I said, "Give me the microphone." I mean, it was all planned. And I got out, and I proposed to her, and I had some of her family members there. I had my oldest child there, and I actually got him to come up with me, and we asked her to marry us, and she said yes.
Ooh,
and I'm pretty sure Susie
baby.
actually has it on video.
All right, this may or may not be appropriate, but I love, so I gotta hit this one time. Yeah, you got to do the Mexican yell for love, bro. I'm a married guy. I've been married for a long time, man. It's good when you get it right, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
Amen.
Awesome. All right. Well, here's another thing, and I want people to see your versatility. Obviously, a fantastic manager, and it's starting to become an in-ring talent. You also watch wrestling, because if you didn't watch wrestling, then you couldn't compete in the FWWC, because everybody knows we do live picks. So, are you cool with me bringing up a high spots topic, and we'll just shoot the shit about a little wrestling? Are you cool with that?
I mean, I don't watch a lot of wrestling, but I will try my best.
We'll keep it to a fairly major topic. Is that cool with you?
Sounds good with me.
All right, baby. Let's go ahead and throw it up, because I think this is going to be a good question to have a conversation about. We asked it to Big Daddy P, and we asked it to Gabriel Arson, who's going to be joining us again here in just some moments. We've got to get your thoughts on it. I think, John, you might have been gone during this time as well. Elimination Chamber down in Perth. We saw Rhea and Nia Jax. They main evented. Okay. How big was it of them to have had this opportunity in front of a international crowd? And I'm going to add, if you had to rate it, both the build-up, everything involved, we do a 1 out of 5 super kick rating system. So 5 is like the best, 1 is like the worst. So how big is it, and what would you rate it? You first, Jason.
How big was I honestly think it was big for Rhea more so than Nia. Don't get me wrong, I am how do I put it? I'm actually head over heels for both of them, because I find them attractive. I'm not even going to lie to you all.
Who isn't? Get line.
Mommy can always be on top, and Nia can always be on top. But no, I think I give it probably a 3.5 super kicks. Biggest issue for me was I could tell that especially me knowing this, I was a bigger guy, and Nia Jax being a little bigger, and I've wrestled smaller guys, and Rhea she's not super small, but she's a smaller girl compared to Nia. There, you got to have a certain balance of kind of being able to know when you can kick, when you can't kick, when you got to throw a punch, and the speed of everything going around. It's called timing and connection. Think about cogs on a wheel. When they got to work together and sync. Yes, just like that. And you could tell there was a little bit of unbalance there. So that was why I give it a 3.5. Other than that, I think it was great to have Rhea in her home country doing what she does and what she loves.
Oh, dude, and they loved her just like they loved Drew.
Yes.
When they did it up in the UK. It was awesome. John, were you here for that earlier? I think that's when you got disconnected.
Yeah, I was having computer issues at that
So
point.
same question for you, bro. And then after this question, we'll bring our guy Arson in because it's great. What's better than one champ? It's two. And we'll continue with another topic, and then we'll finish off with Jason Curtis. But what about you, Hoss? I want to know your thoughts, bud.
Or three champs, you know.
Three? Duh. Hello, three. Yes, of course. Of course.
Already messing up.
I tell you. But no. Honestly, for me, I'm sure it was big for Rhea to be there. And nothing, I'm sure there's nothing bigger than wrestling a match in your home country in front of your home crowd.
Yeah.
But I would give the match probably about 2.5 super kicks. I mean, it wasn't the worst match I've ever seen, but it wasn't the best match either. And for me, it just didn't have that main event feel. So to me, it was just in the wrong spot. And I think that's part of what killed it, because I just expect more out of a main event than what we really got.
I gotta agree with that. I agree with that.
Okay, and we are going to add back our third champion, of course, the Warriors Heart champion in the FWWC, our guy, Gabriel Arsen. I know you already gave your thoughts on this, so I'll give mine. I actually, believe it or not, I am on the other side of this. I think that what needed to be accomplished got accomplished. I certainly believe that, and I think Bernie says it well here, Rhea, getting her flowers in that perfect spot. Let me see here. She got all the Aussie love, and then Gunther actually is in the mix with all of our Heistbox questions. I don't know if we'll get to it this evening, but obviously I absolutely love Gunther. I'm actually going to give this match 4 stars. I think somebody else gave it 4 stars earlier, simply because that's a big load to carry. And I also think it's the first ever women's main event outside of the United States. So the fact that they were able to do that for Drew, huge kick. Huge boost for the international fan base. And then same thing, like it's one thing to do it in Sydney. It's a whole nother thing to do it on the western side of Australia. They pretty much sold that thing out at 52K. So, I mean, to put 2 women in that spot, I think I think that Nia's gotten a bad rap over the years as far as like her in-ring ability about hurting people and stuff like that. All things considered, there weren't any major botches. Can anybody think of any major botches or mistakes throughout that match? Man,
none that have been reported, thankfully.
I don't recall really any.
And they both wrestled the next night, I believe, or they were both at least on TV the next night. So, I mean, for somebody who's had that reputation to be given the opportunity to main event such a big show, it almost looked like a WrestleMania, or like when they go over to Saudi Arabia, they had the big pillars, you know what I'm saying, and the big huge monitors. So for those girls to get that opportunity, and I'm a girl dad, so maybe that's why I'm a little bit more like keen on putting them over. I think Nia's got a bad rap. I think there was a lot of pressure on Rhea because it was her home country, and I think all things considered, they pretty much delivered. There were no major botches. The end was perfect. The intros were incredible. I've got to give it a 4. I think they did an outstanding job considering how much was at stake. Because anybody, Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, anybody could have been her opponent. Nia stepped in, and she did a damn good job. Those are my thoughts.
Cool. I mean, I agree with what you got to say. So I can't knock what you say.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. No doubt, man. I love the fact that they got the opportunity. They didn't necessarily hit a home run, but they definitely got on third base, which to Jason Curtis's point, nobody would really have a problem with.
I mean, I'd argue they'd hit an inside the park home run. Like, maybe not a traditional home run, but I'd say inside the park only because they made national news. Like, they actually made, like, Aussie news, and they're like, hey, we should do another one. This was really good for rapport. It's like when you're making, like, that's a good thing. That means they're saying, hey, host another show here. And it's like, and then Renee, can I throw this your way?
Yeah.
With the bouncing of talent as of now, we get Australia as a major like player in WWE because they're like, hey, we know people are going to be there. Think about the potential for future signings. How much money
Well, look at Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller main evented Raw last night.
Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh, bro, come on.
Just saying.
Come on,
I'd
man.
pay money to see that.
Yeah.
I'd buy that for $1.
Well, the UK guys and the Australia guys are already getting pushed. I mean, look at the tag match at Elimination Chamber with Damian Priest, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate. I mean, like, that was such a great match,
I'm so
bro.
happy Pete Dunne finally is called Pete Dunne. Butch was the stupidest
I
name.
never called him Butch. I
It's the
never called.
dumbest thing. World champion. That you ain't gonna. What is it? You imagine that 5 years down the line, world champion Butch. That sounds stupid.
No. All right. Well,
Anyways.
since we got 3 FWWC champions here, let's talk about 3 other current champions. One more Hot Spots topic here while we have you, Gabe. Question. It says, with Nemeth, Ali, and Riddle all having, with Ali and Riddle all having success, should this give others hope about life after the WWE? So for those that don't know, Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler, Ali, Mustafa Ali, and then Matt Riddle are all having success outside of the WWE. They're all world champions, just like you guys are all champions. Who wants to take this one first? I'm inclined to ask Hoss to go first. Should this give wrestlers hope beyond WWE to see guys making themselves notable outside of the biggest promotion in the world? What do you think?
I would say it should definitely give them hope in making things outside of WWE. Now, in my honest opinion, are all those names that are really going to put a lot of butts in seats? I don't think so. I mean, I know they just gave Matt Riddle that championship, but I think Matt Riddle's a name that it's going to put some butts in seats, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to put a whole lot in there. Not as many as Nick Nemeth. But I do believe that it does show that just because you are no longer with WWE, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get respect or not going to get notoriety at all or in the business.
Love to hear your thoughts on that, Mr. Curtis.
Honestly, I got to agree with Hardcore Hoss. I mean, it shows that you can branch out once you're done, and you can still make a name for yourself and have success. Like he said, are they going to, draw a lot of, crowd? Are they going to draw the tickets in? And not necessarily, but they're still names that you've heard from the bigger promotion, and it's still going to draw a semi-decent crowd to you, and then you're still going to be able to show that you still have the talent that you had back in the day of WWE. So I think, yes, it shows that even without WWE, you can still make it in the business.
Absolutely. That's really encouraging as far as I'm concerned. Gabriel, I know that these are 3 guys that you were a fan of even before they got to the WWE.
Yeah.
In most cases, with Riddle, especially, and Ali. But talk on it, baby. What do you think?
Oh, boy. Well, it's just like, for me, this is awesome from, I want to say, from 2 perspectives. From a fan perspective, because as you say, Renee, I'm huge fans of all 3 of these men's work. I knew Ali and Matt Riddle back in, I want to say, 2016, back in their WCPW days when they were kind of globetrotting. And then, I mean, Dolph Ziggler, been a huge fan of him back since, like, he first started dyeing his hair brown. Remembers that version? But for me, it's just nice to see them succeed, because you want to know that for people like that they don't fall off in wrestling. Because mentally, I'm sure people like Ziggler are like, well, I guess I got to do what I always do, wrestle. And then to have the opportunity to be an international champ for, like, New Japan Pro Wrestling, or to, be somewhat, I like to think he is a needle mover for TNA, especially. I think that was a good signing. I think that was a great way to get everybody's attention. And I think New Japan took an opportunity on both of them, because the belts that they were given were specifically tailored for American markets, because Riddle is the television title. So that means I believe his matches are going to be free on YouTube. So I think they just pride themselves on him having good 15-minute matches and being like,
and
yo,
he
people
is.
know Riddle. Yeah, and he is, dude. He's a freak when it comes to wrestling. It's crazy. And then for Riddle, he's Nemeth, he's the international champion. So that's their version of like, hey, he's gonna go around the globe and see who wants a piece. So, and then for Ali, I think it was just a proving ground to know that this dude is like, he can catch a break. He's on the comeback tour right now, fighting all the matches he wants. And now he's X Division champion for a fledgling, like, reinvigorated TNA. So it just fills me with hope for the future, especially because I think this is the best opportunity for these guys, because after they left WWE, now they have the ability to improve their stock. And then when they come back, they're going to have even more fanfare. It's just like Cody 2.0.
Drew McIntyre, baby.
Exactly.
Cody
Drew
Rhodes.
McIntyre,
That's what I was
Bobby
gonna say. Drew,
Lashley.
I was gonna say, look at Drew and look at Cody when they got to come back. I mean,
Drew, Bobby
they
Lashley.
blew up.
Stock
Exactly.
went up,
Cody
baby.
Rhodes. Exactly. They're because people keep we keep our eyes open. Wrestling's getting more talked about now. And then with the Forbidden Door, honestly, Renee, how crazy would it be to see Nick Nemeth show up back with the international title? Just saying.
Ooh, yep. And Tony's all about it. He's got the money to throw around, so it could happen.
I'm just saying.
Oh, and I want to say, as far as like the opportunity and what you were just saying, I know Perry's got his snippets. I got my own. Yesterday's price is not today's price. If I left one way and came back a much better version of myself, I'm not going to let you pay me what you were paying me before. Remember this: yesterday's price is not today's price. So as we go up, the price goes up. And if you can bring your value up, like Jason Curtis is doing with himself, starting in the fantasy wrestling world, progressing and paying those dues, doing security, breaking down the ring, carrying stuff out, bringing stuff in, doing and then bringing his family into it to propose to his wife, to his now wife in the world of professional wrestling. To me, that's a form of paying your dues, because I'm like, if you love this that much to make it a part of your proposal, we know you're about wrestling. You're one of them guys, and not everybody would do that. So that's what I appreciate the most about what we all bring to the table. Like, we've got a passion about it, and these guys, we all knew that no matter where they went, they were going to do fine. Especially because 2 out of 3 of them had already been successful before they even got to the WWE.
I was going to mention, it was like Mustafa and Riddle were already on the indies prior.
Yeah, WWL, or is it W? No, it's WW. No, WWL for Riddle, and then Ali was killing.
He went to Atlas Pro Wrestling, WCPW, like I mentioned. I think GCW,
and then AAW for Ali. A bunch of stuff up there too. So, but anyway, Gabe, we're gonna go ahead and turn it back over to Jason Curtis, man. Just a last quick question for you, and I think this will go around the table as well after you answer. The FWWC and the upcoming Universe Mania Elimination Chamber is done, okay? And there's a lot of shenanigans going on. I don't even want to get into Ace and Remy right now, or why the hell Marcus is gone, or any of that kind of stuff, man. But let's talk about the Warriors Heart Championship. I'm glad to see you smiling after the V trigger you took, because that was scary for me as a friend and as a fan to see somebody.
He knocked that right out. You see that? That was all courtesy of Moby Lee right there.
So speak on it before we let you get out of here, bro.
It goes without saying, I should have expected nothing less from Moby. But the thing is, I'm glad he kind of took the first shot, because now there's going to be zero regrets for what happens next. And I don't want to give away any spoilers. I kind of want to leave it to everybody's imagination when I use the words violent, reinforcement, redistribution, a grudge match. But all I can say, to leave it so we can get back to the show here, folks, don't miss it, but viewer discretion is advised.
Oh, love it. I love it when they leave us on a cliffhanger. Definitely one of the best guys in the business right now, Mr. Curtis. I mean, you look at the Warriors Heart champion, a guy who reinvented himself very similar to what you have done in a way. How impressed are you? How impressed are you with what Gabriel Arson has been able to do in such a quick time frame of being in the FWWC?
I remember when he came in as the dude, and I'm not gonna lie to anybody, I didn't take the guy serious when he was the dude. Like, I didn't. But to see him, progress himself and go in a whole different direction and reinvent himself, it was It's beautiful. It is like a flower blossoming. You lose your petals, but you're still growing, and that's what he did. And I want to use the word that Bernie put in. It reignited him into what he has done, and it's taken off. And congratulations on being the Warriors Heart champion. I'm not going to lie, I can't wait to see that match at Universe Mania 10. Besides my match with Hardcore Susie Hoss, whatever she wants to be called these days, Sister Hoss, Susie Hoss.
Oh, and there's the trash talk. Right on time, right on cue, Jason. As we've only got a couple of minutes left here, I just want to make sure that you get the opportunity to get it off of your chest. But we'll get there. Because we'll save that right for the end, bro. I want you to bring that energy. Another quick question here from our current tag team champ in the FWWC, House of Horrors or SOF. Who y'all got for the win? Let's start with you, Jason. Who you got in that match? No bias allowed, by the way, because we know your affiliations and stuff a little bit. Well, at least we believe we know some of the rumors that have been floating around.
Well, I can go ahead and tell you those rumors are untrue because Jason Curtis is a solo man. I don't have anybody that I'm affiliated with. I like everybody.
Okay.
I like La Familia. I like NFG. It's just everybody. I like everybody. But to get to the answer, who I think is going to win?
Yeah.
I have to give it to SOF, honestly.
Ooh.
And hold on, this is the reason. I'm not knocking anything against the House of Horrors. The reason I think SOF, they show up at the hardest times, and they know how to pack a punch, and they know how to win.
I just love how you and Hardcore Sis went completely opposite. That tells me that y'all's match is gonna be crazy, bro. Like y'all are literally like oil and water right now. John,
well,
I gotta know what you
that
think, bro. Too. Yeah, I know, bro. But to see it in the ring and you guys facing off, and I do want you to talk about the contrast between that in ring and in the FWWC. But John, who do you got in that matchup?
Honestly, I have to go with House of Horrors. I've been in matches with SOF. I've been in matches with House of Horrors, and House of Horrors can be a very hard team to beat. So I've got to go with House of Horrors on that one.
Okay. Well, I love to hear that. Well, I'm sitting here thinking, and I know the history that we all have with each other. But Jason, for you now in the world of professional wrestling as a manager, how does that change your mindset? How you are now going from a situation where you're making picks and doing promos and stuff to now where you're actually working alongside real professional wrestling talent? I know your at here says pro wrestling manager, or it says Jason Curtis _ wrestling manager. So that's a big responsibility, going from doing some fantasy stuff, basically just accounting for yourself, to now working alongside other top tier talent in the area. I mean, does the level of pressure go up when you're working in that environment, or do you revel in it? I'm curious.
Oh, it's I get butterflies. I'm not gonna lie. I still, like I said at the beginning, you're still learning. This business, you never stop learning, and so I have to take what I learned from the FWWC, being able to cut promos. I'm not gonna lie. When I very first came into the group, you can attest to this. I sucked. I was horrible at them. I had the camera up to my face, like way up close, and I was shaking all the time. And you gave me feedback, and that helped me when I went to the train and to go to the school and learn the actual real business. We would practice promos. We would practice everything, and everything's a stepping stone in life. You have stepping stones, like Big Daddy P was saying. You gotta put your foot forward to go to the next thing, and that's what God's going to give you. God's giving me my stepping stones. Was the FWWC first? Now it's the real life business, and you just got to roll with the punches. And I love being in the business. Don't get me wrong, I like the FWWC, but they're different. To do everything virtual to doing everything in real life, it's totally different.
Do you feel like they benefit each other though, like having the ability to be in both worlds? Do you think that sharpens your sword a little bit more?
Oh, 100% it does. 100%. Like I said, I'm not the greatest person that can put a promo on, but because I've had the practice of FWWC doing it as much as we used to. I mean, I remember when I very first came into the FWWC, we were doing. I was wrestling every Monday, every Friday, as much as I could, in every single pay-per-view. To now, at a wrestling show, we only wrestle every two to 1 to 2 times a month, and you got to take everything that you can learn. And so they're not oil and water, but they're what is that thing that you put on like salad, salt, or not salt and vinegar, but like the dressings? It's the red and oil and vinaigrette.
Oil and vinegar, yeah. And you know what? I think you had it right the first time. Like, oil and water don't go together, but you need both of them for a car to work.
Yes.
Right? Like, maybe not in the same compartment, but you need both. You need both to make sure that your car works. Right? And no difference that when you're cooking pasta, you're going to need a little oil, you're going to need a little water. So, yeah, I totally dig where you're coming from. And by the way, I wanted to say this. I love that championship. Just briefly before we get into the trivia challenge, talk about that championship, what it means to you to have that thing over your shoulder, and then some words for your challenger at Universe Mania.
So you're looking at Jason Curtis, the longest FWWC international champion. This championship is a workhorse championship. Not saying any other championship is not a workhorse championship, but this one you have to put the time in and put the effort in. And let me tell you, I've gone through. When I first was going for this championship, I thought I was going to go up against Big Papa Kirk or Big Papa Malice, and then it was going to be Marcus, and then it became Taylor Marie, and I won it. And then it was going to be, different things that were going on. And so then this story got changed, and that story got changed. But then it came down to Jinx and Susie Hoss, where I announced Susie Hoss last night after the FWWC Monday Night Raw was over that she's going to be my contender. And let me tell you, Susie, I love everything you've done for the FWWC. Just like I've said it before, I don't discount anything you've done, but I want you to know one thing. Don't ever count me as an underdog. The reason I'm a champion is because I busted my ass, and I will continue busting my ass. Everything you got at Universe Mania 10, and we'll see who really the FWWC International Champion is going to be.
I love it, dog. This confidence, like I said, when you first got to the group, bro, there's no way you would have come off the way that you just came off. And it's not luck, bro. You worked your way there, stepping stones. You had faith. You have the right support system. You got people in your corner, and it shows, bro. And it shows. But guess what? It's been all fun and games at this point. But now I'm going to leave you in the hands of two very capable men, because we do have tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. And tonight, I believe that it's going to be Hardcore Hoss versus Jason Curtis.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, and so this is a good warm-up for you, because you're going to be fighting Susie Hoss, defending that beautiful international championship. So who better to face than her brother to warm up for what is probably, up to this point, the biggest match of both of your careers. And I will say this, Gabe, I want you to be here for this, because you're going to be my witness. I know you and your La Familia people always got, and I know, Curtis, you don't have any problem with anybody, and I'm going to say this to you, John. Susie has gotten championship shot after championship shot after championship shot. And I'm not saying that she hasn't earned them, because she has earned them each time. But when you're 0 for 7 in championship matches in 2023/2024 or something of that ilk, as a board of directors member, and you guys see everything that's happening now with Ace and Remy and Mata and CEO going to fight each other, and I'm stuck in the middle of all this. So with a little bit of authority that the Night Owl has, I'm telling you now, you're not going to continue to get chances and come up short. So this match against Jason Curtis is the biggest of your career for a couple of different reasons. So you better get it done, because I'm not biased like certain masked individuals. I am here to call it down the middle. If I'm the last one in this company, Mr. Arsene and Mr. Hardcore Hoss, how convenient. You guys are all champions, and we all know who you work for. What it is. I'm going to step out of here and let you guys finish with this challenge. But Mr. Curtis, the last thing I want to say to you, bro, and I would say this to you in the room if it was just you and me standing across from each other, I am proud of you. Keep going. Keep prioritizing your family. Keep prioritizing your health. And know, bro, that you always have a home in the FWWC and as a member of the Wrestle Talk podcast family, bro. I love you. God bless you. Keep killing that shit. All right, dog?
I got one thing real quick, Renee. I want to say I miss you, and I still look at that photo that we took way back when I came out to Kansas City of us doing the pose.
The bite down on the belt.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember that, and I love looking at that one.
Yeah, bro. Well, you know what? Hopefully in the near future, if it's in God's plan, bro, we'll do that one more time, baby, and we'll have a cold one, and we'll watch some wrestling, and we'll have a blast, man. Guaranteed. Plus, I'm due for a trip out to the East Coast, man. You guys have come out here. I think the Night Owl is due out east, and maybe I can get some young fella from Florida to fly up with me. Who knows? We'll talk about it off screen. Good luck on the game show challenge. No mercy, guys. No freaking mercy. I will catch y'all. Peace.
Good old Night Owl. All right, you guys ready to play some game show?
Not really, because I'm nervous.
Hey, don't be nervous. I've never won.
Okay. This should be good. All righty. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's installment of the world famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contestant is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls. Our contestants are Jason Curtis and the one and only Hardcore Hoss. In a few moments, gentlemen, I will ask you 3 questions about a particular professional wrestling topic. Whenever you think you know the answer to the question, shout out your answer. The first person to win 2 falls will win tonight's game show challenge. Do you both understand the rules, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Yes.
All righty. You guys ready for your first for the category?
Sure.
You can't skip the music.
Oh, that's all, of course. Alrighty, tonight's Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge category is the Elimination Chamber. I will give you information about 3 professional wrestlers who have won the Elimination Chamber match.
Okay.
When you think you know the answer, shout out your answer. The first person to win 2 out of 3 falls wins tonight's contest. All right. So question number 1. Jason Curtis, are you ready?
As best I can be.
Hardcore Hoss, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Alrighty. This Elimination Chamber winner lost the World Heavyweight Championship to Edge on the same night as New Year's Revolution.
Was it John Cena?
That is correct. The winner of the first fall, Jason Curtis.
And that's what's going to happen to Susie at Universe Mania.
I like that confidence. You got to defend your sister's honor, Hardcore. So, question number 2. Gentlemen, are you both ready?
Let's go.
Alrighty. In the first ECW Elimination Chamber match, this wrestler won the ECW Championship. Presently, you can see alongside the Street Profits in the WWE.
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley.
The winner of the second fall, Jason Curtis. Woo! That's 2 out of 3. So it looks like, Jason, you take it. Now, normally we usually play these out. So I want to take the opportunity as the winner of the fall. Do you want to play this into the last match to see if it's a complete shutout to fully disrespect Hard? Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's see if it's a complete shutout here, folks. If not, Hardcore, this is your last chance. You got this. I'm rooting for you. All right. So, gentlemen, are you ready?
Yeah.
Question number 3. This professional wrestler won the first SmackDown Elimination Chamber match. to win the WWE Championship. Presently, he is an executive for the WWE.
Triple H.
That's what I was about to say too.
Oh, and snubbing it out at the last second, Hardcore Hoss prevents the sweep from Jason Curtis. However, it is still 2 out of 3 falls, and Jason Curtis wins the round. Your winner tonight, the international champion of the FWWC, Jason Curtis, takes it 2 out of 3 here at the FWWC Game Show Challenge. It was a good effort, though, Haas. You didn't take it out completely, so you'll be able to get him next time. I believe in you. But Jason Curtis, the night is yours. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Hey, Hoss, you want to know what's something funny about that?
What's that?
When you and I faced each other in the ring, what was it, 2 weeks ago on a Monday Night Raw? I beat you.
Ooh.
And I beat you tonight? Come on now.
Yellow card.
But no,
do we got to get a three-peat? Do we got to call the CEO, or we got to get Night Owl back here to put something on paper? Hardcore Hoss International.
Well, you know, just remember we got to work together here. I believe it's Friday.
Yeah, we do. It's going to be myself, the Hoss Mafia, and Luke Justice versus the Saviors of Funk and House of Horrors, and an 8-man tag match. So
maybe, I don't know if you're doing yourself any favors. Getting on his
I
bad
might want to
side.
shut up.
Bernie says trifecta will be when Jason beats Susie.
There we go. There we go. Thank you, Bernie.
The cherry on the Haas. The Haas defeat Sunday, huh?
But you know, back a little bit ago, there was a few comments I wanted to. I put them up, but I want to go ahead and bring them back to mention them real quick. Let me see if I can find them now.
We had a lot of comments.
Here we go. Owen had mentioned about the super kick and how you took that super kick, and of course, Susie had asked how about that super kick.
Do we have footage of that, Haas? That super kick was insane.
There is footage online. We don't have any footage uploaded right now.
I need your thoughts on that, Jason, because I saw that it looked like it snatched the soul out of you.
Yeah, that's not the first time I've taken a kick from Kalen, believe it or not. And both times they've caught me out of the nowhere. I wasn't expecting them. And the second time, the most recent one, literally knocked some sense out of me a little bit. But you know what? You get back up, you dust your shoulders off, and you continue what you got to do. And that's what I did. And therefore, when my man Samuel Thompson continued his reign as the WDWA light heavyweight champion, you got to do what you got to do. And that sometimes is taking a kick on the face. When you get paid the money to do something, you do it.
It's the results speak for themselves, I think, Jason.
Amen, they do.
Because look, he's still champ, and now you're champ too.
All the time. That's how it's going to stay.
That's what's up.
And, you know, last time he wasn't able to be present at one of his clients' matches, you know, she lost her championship.
Unfortunately, that is true. I had some business I had to take care of, and she gave me the night off, and I told her, you got this. I have faith in you. And unfortunately, she did not get the job done. I lost my paycheck that night. I'll put it that way.
I'm sure you did. You know, you're lucky you didn't get fired.
I'm very lucky I didn't get fired. But like Bernie says, I am up for hire, and I will always take a bullet for my clients. I have no problem putting hands on a competitor, and I will not hesitate taking anything to protect my clients.
Yeah, Jason has represented the who's who. Several of them have been here on Wrestle Talk podcast. You know, there's been Kalen and Bo Ross. Both have been on Wrestle Talk podcast. And I know you've represented both of them. So,
Yeah, I did represent them. Unfortunately, something became in the head of Bo Ross, and he started going the outlaw way and saying that he didn't need family after we thought Kalen was getting too big for his britches. So we took him out of the family, and Bo, I guess, just thought he was better solo. So he fired me and let me hang out by myself. I drank a lot of beer and dusted myself off and found new clients. That's all you can do. But
So,
other than that, yeah,
all
that's
right.
all
Well,
I can.
Jason, I want to welcome you as our newest member of the Wrestle Talk podcast family here. And let me go ahead and have you shout out your social media. Where can everybody out there find you, and where can they see you next? What do you got coming up?
You can follow me on Instagram, which is my handle, Jason Curtis _wrestling manager. You can also follow me on Facebook. Just type in Jason Curtis. It's a picture of me and the two clients I'm currently representing, which is Samuel Thompson and Valerie Verman. I do have a YouTube page where I have started uploading some of the things I've been doing throughout my career, and that you can just look up Jason Curtis. Jason Curtis manager. So there's that. If you don't mind, I'd like to shout out something that I have been doing for the last year, and that is a podcast of my own. You can also follow the Fresh Takes podcast. We talk about football and the NFL. You can follow us on the good old X, the Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. So yes, don't forget to go shout out any of them.
Definitely be sure to check him out. Be sure to give him a like and check out Fresh Takes podcast. Give them a like, and it's been a pleasure. Before we get out of here, do you have any parting words there before you go?
Tell your sister I might respect her, and I'll see her most likely at the 316 show here at WDWA. And I can't wait to see her at Universe Mania 10, where I defend my title, and she does not get any closer to it.
And of course, she has to be this tall to talk to you.
Yes, she's always got to be taller than what I say. And she's not. She's not.
All right. Well, thank you for being on tonight. It's been a pleasure, and we will be seeing you soon.
Have a good one. Thank you again.
All right, Jason Curtis, everybody.
Whew.
Unfortunately, I came in for the last part of that interview. I've been having some computer issues, but from what I've seen, it was a great interview, and glad I got to catch what I did of it.
We made it work. It's it's weird to think that we're ending with people that weren't starting the show.
Well, actually, I did start the show,
Well,
but
that's true. That's true. But it's me instead of Night Owl. Did a whole rotation.
it happened. We're all one big family, and
It's true.
we love to be here no matter whether we're with the Night Owl or you or Chris Rodell. Whoever we're with, it's always a good time guaranteed. So always look forwards to it. So before we get out of here, Gabe, do you have any last words to shout out to the family before we go?
Um, you know, I don't know why anything's not coming to mind. Do we have the sponsors before we head out?
Oh yes, thank you for
Yes.
reminding me.
Woo! That's okay. So, Wrestle Talk Podcast would like to thank all of our great sponsors: Royal Mills Transportation, head by one CEO, Dewan Mills; Nobleman's Barber Lounge out of Kansas City, Missouri; Kincaid Arcade at Oak Park Mall; Interstate 70 Sports Media; Little Popeye Designs. It's where you can get your Wrestle Talk Podcast tumbler; and of course, the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. Whew, see, we figured that out.
Yeah, you definitely saved me on that one. Night Owl would have fired me if I forgot that, you know.
I always got you by a cost.
So, all right. Well, sorry we didn't get to spend more time with you. And
I'll
Gabe,
make time for it next week.
yeah, I'm sure you and I will be on together soon. You know, we tend to catch each other quite frequently here lately, so I'm sure we'll be on together soon. And it's always a good time. So
Got to keep it going all the way to 500.
that's it.
Yep,
So
that's right.
that's right.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So
Well,
we're closing
thank
it out
you.
here.
Getting ready to. So thank you for coming on tonight. And actually, good thing you did get to come on with the problems I had. So it's been a pleasure, and I will see you here soon. So, all right, that's it. Wrestle Talk Podcast family. That's going to do it for tonight. Another great interview in the books, and just looking forwards to next week and keeping that train rolling right on to episode 500 and beyond, ladies and gentlemen. So, for the Night Owl, Gabriel Arsene, Sonny Money Mayo, and Chris Rodell, Jeremy Cart, and I'm Hardcore Hoss. Keep on coming back. Thanks for watching, no matter whether you're watching on the replay or watching us live. We really appreciate you. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you next week.